Hi. Welcome. It's 1:53 a.m. I'm not watching the entirety of today's FanFest because I've been at work all day and I'm quite tired. I am, however, going to watch the keynote address, and I'm assuming a new, slightly bigger, probably CGI trailer. Obviously, because this is live, I can't do much in the way of editing or preparation. I have no idea what to expect from this. I suspect we'll get the second job announcement. I did see something on Twitter about how the keynote was something not to be missed, which is kind of the point, isn't it? The other thing I can't control is whether things pop up whilst I'm recording. That's kind of helped. So yes, 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Chat is going crazy down here. Obviously, I'm on the FF14 YouTube page. There are 65,000 people waiting to watch this. So I think it's safe to say it's likely to be a popular one. 67,000 people. But yeah, we might get a little bit more on Sage. I'm really hoping, we get some more information about customization options. I'd really, really like some more options for Viera and Hrothgar. Viera especially, because I'm kind of getting to the stage that as much as I really, really like my Viera, the fact that I can't wear hats, especially on Red Mage, is kind of frustrating, and I'm almost contemplating switching back to the Highlander female, which is what I started off as on this particular character. I probably won't, because I do really like the Viera model and the facial animations and stuff. But that being said, a lot of the older models can be fixed with the odd mod. Though to be fair, as can the hats and stuff, apparently. I've not looked into that. Ooh. Did that just blink because it was about to start, or what? I've no idea how loud this is going to be, actually. I was going to say, I put the helmet on. I put the headphones on, is the word I was after, because it's 1:56 a.m. and I'm not a monster. Although, if you've been watching my Resident Evil playthrough, Final Fantasy Fan Festival 2021. What a year 2021 has been. What a year 2020 was. Ugh. Let's see what they have got for us this time. I wonder if we'll have any technical issues, because that's always entertaining when there are some of those. They are live, so... Started streaming 78 seconds ago. Chat is too fast to read. Who looks at chat anyway? Not I. I was doing predictions, wasn't I? Yeah, so we'll get the reveal of the melee class, I suspect. Probably the reveal of the second city, which I suspect is going to be either on the moon or Sharlayan. But I don't know which. But yeah, I don't really know what else to expect apart from that and, a new CGI trailer. Well, an expanded CGI trailer. The Vishcard music. Because you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong with a little bit of organ. The lunar whale and miniatures. Minions, even. Not miniatures. I've been painting some miniatures today. The minions, Vidya, Rosa, and Edge are available. There's a sale on for a week or two, I think. I bought the whale because, of course, I have. Oh, here we go. First impressions of Stuff Live. Hopefully this is all recording properly. It looks like it is. 40. So normally, of course, this would be an actual convention with many peoples, but can't do that because of bloody COVID. Ah, I thought they were going to stop on 14 because that would have been... Heidelin! 'Tis the end of your saga. And straight into a trailer. Yes. Yes, indeed. Creative business units. We like the moon. Right, so far so same. Not that I've watched the original a few times. The lyrics seem clearer. Sound on the moon.
The final days were upon us. The fabric of the star had begun to fray, its land rent by tooth and claw.
Alice. I just noticed actually that the transitions in the Z shape from Sweshao, is it? The Red Mage combo move. Stomp. Cover. Alphy, no. Alphy, yes. No. This is a different remix of the music, isn't it?
And I've had enough of this rabble. Come on.
And transitions to something new.
As the chaos spread, the star seemed doomed to unravel.
What the hell are they? That's Estinien. On Dragonback.
Those who stood in defiance of that fate.
Ouch. Nice.
It's come, Vrtra. It's all or nothing.
Nice. Back up to Xenos. I do like that they're keeping with the rock main themes. That's Garlemald. That's
Stage is set. But will our heroes deign to play their part?
Banquet.
You took your time. 'Tis
was as we feared. The respite afforded this land was but fleeting. The end draweth nigh.
This is Radz-at-Han. Old Sharlayan. Called it. Wow. It's Altissia 2.0. Ah, this looks amazing. How did you get in, Graha?
This star still has secrets to tell. Take care, my friend.
Hi, Stola.
Sharlayan would keep its counsel while the world is lost to ruin.
It would. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Is that Avano's dad?
Do as you must then, but we scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
There's his scythe. Shocking, I know. Whooshing. Louis Andre looks a little bit off.
Past the far edge of fate.
Whoa.
Green blades dark like light. Tolling the coming of the end.
I feel like I should know what that creature was with the skirts. And its name completely escapes me. Top-notch trailer. Shockingly. No release date yet. I'd really like to know exactly when it's going to release. I'm hoping it's during like half term or something. Uh-oh. What are they doing? That's just showing off, isn't it? Okay. How long did it say this keynote was on for? Was it a couple of hours? Let's see if I can stay awake for that. Oh, look. Oh. That's a nice hat. Woo! New class. Job. At some point, I'll stop making that mistake. Is this actually Yoshi-P in cosplay? Because he does have a thing about doing this. I remember when he turned up as a gunbreaker.
皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサー兼ディレクターの吉田
It
で
is
す。
Yoshi-P.
うわ、コメントすごい。ありがとうございます。
It must be really weird though,
皆さんようこそお越しくだ
talking
さいまし
to
た。
essentially
そしてファイナ
nothing.
ルファンタジー14ファンフェスティバル2021 Around the World
That's really nicely put together, actually,
開催していきたいと思い
Well,
ます
as you kind of expect for an official
Welcome
cosplay.
everyone, and
It's
thank
not
you
like
for
Yoshi-P
watching
just
Final
threw it
Fantasy
together
14
himself.
Fan Festival 2021 Around the World.
Doff your hat, mate. Doff your hat.
僕一人では厳しいので
Can you actually see
早速
everything?
アイ
It
コンを
looks
見
like
たい
it's...
と思います。コージー
I like that. Just Koji, get over here.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Christopher Koji Fox. I am the localization supervisor on Final Fantasy XIV.
You are a legend.
And today I will be Yoshi-P's English voice for the keynote. So let's begin.
さあ、ファンフェス開始は僕の基調講演からなんですけど、まずここ
He's not going to announce the new job. He just fancied dressing up.
まだコージーって言ってるな。
All right, so we're going to take a look at some of the comments from people from around the world. Let's take a look at YouTube first.
Hi, YouTube.
おお、すごいすごいすごいすごい。もう読めないな、早すぎて。
It's too quick, can't even read it.
わわわわすごい、ものすごいスピードになった。
They should have
Going
put it on the
faster now.
screens.
さあ、ここはですね、ニコニコです。ニコニコ動
Yeah,
画。
Here we have Nico Nico Doga.
草刈り吉田って書いてあ
It
る。
must be really weird. Literally, the only interactions that we've got are with these giant monitors in front of
皆さんお
them,
はようございます。
as opposed to having an entire auditorium full of people.
吉田しかなくて、画面が見えないですね。
Yoshida, screen's filled.
さあ、こちらは Twitch で
This
す。
is some big pixels.
おは
We
ようございます
have our Twitch feed. Good morning everyone watching on Twitch.
Hi, Twitch.
今回ね、ファンフェス、残念ながら、コロナ禍の影響でですね、世界ツアー、相次ぐ中止になってしまって、今日デジタルという
Well, I
形で
called the Sharlayan reveal at least. Old Sharlayan.
We would really would have liked to have had this fan festival today in front of fans here to this wonderful arena, but because of the coronavirus
He's just
pandemic,
playing around with
we
that.
had to make it all digital.
It
But
looks
that has
kinda
allowed
heavy.
us to basically stream to everyone
I
around the
liked
world.
going back to the trailer was there doing their intro. So there are a handful of people there. I found it very interesting that Sharlayan's still got its isolationist policy in effect, considering the world is ending.
Watching, we've got these screens up here so we can see everybody's comments, and we'd like to use those throughout the keynote and the festival so that you guys can participate with us.
I did feel like that snooty guy might have been Alphino's dad. There was a certain degree of resemblance there, especially to early Alphino. The kind of arrogant supremacist. Maybe supremacist possibly has too many negative connotations attached to it. Superiority complex.
Keynote address, we'd like to spend the next 2 hours talking about how I had to go on a very rigorous diet for the past 2 months to be able to fit into this wonderful costume. Everyone's kind of like, what? What?
It does fit very nicely. I want that hat as well. I look terrible in hats.
The expansion, not the diet.
Oh, a pun on expansion.
もちろんこの基調講演でお話しするのは次なる拡張パッケージエンドウォーカーの話になります。
All right, and so the focus of this keynote address is going to be almost solely on content for the next expansion, Endwalker.
Surprise.
最初のセクションね、当然この衣装気になってると思うので。
So probably everyone is wondering, what is it I'm wearing? Well, it's time to find out.
まずは早速新たなジョブからお届け
Reaper?
していこうと思います。
Beastmaster? Beast Hunter?
All right, so let's learn
Hunter?
about the second job,
Gurman?
Endwalker expansion.
エンゲーシっていうコメントをね、見るん
He
です
looks a lot like Gurman actually from Bloodborne.
実装されてますからね。
So it's you're going to be using that to cut grass. Another disciple
Botanist?
of the
No.
land? No. We already have one of those.
あとはね、日本のコミュニティではね、相変わらずね、力士、相撲レスラーはまだか。
Right, and then of course the Japanese community really wants a sumo wrestler.
Oh, they're still going on about this.
鎌を持った回しを締めた吉田が出てくるんじゃ
And
ないか
so
って
yeah,
書い
so
た。
they're expecting everyone to come out in just the mawashi, also holding a giant scythe.
さすがにね、僕が着れ
No
るかどうか
thanks.
でジョブ決めてるわけじゃないですけど。
Yeah,
Although the
but
glamour
not
choices
whether
would
I
be
can wear the
interesting.
costume or not is that's not how we decide on the job.
先ほど公開になったフルトレーラー、こちらで、登場しましたが、ゼノスが、ね、僕と同じく鎌を持ってました。
We saw Xenos in the trailer with the
ゼノス
scythe.
がどうやらこのジョブ
I think
に
that's
ジ
what
ョブ
it
チ
said.
ェンジするようです。
So in that trailer that you just watched, the full-length trailer, the extended trailer, we saw that Xenos also was in a similar outfit with a similar weapon.
Surprise.
So yes, for Endwalker, it is Xenos who has changed jobs.
さて、世界中で
Xenos
ですね
and Alphino.
ジョブの予想が行われていて、ネクロマンサーに始まって、なんか
Rather irritating, in my opinion,
テン
characters.
プルナイトじゃないかっていうのもね、出てましたね。
And so there have been a lot of different predictions from players around the world on what the next job would be.
Really does look
First
like German.
Necromancer, and then people started really reading into it and throwing out things such as Temple Knight.
さて、その気になるジョブ名ですが、
New job entirely.
行きたいんですが、その
First.
前にもうさっさと動画をご覧いただきましょう。
And so the actual name of the job is what you're all dying to know. But first, we have for you some exclusive world premiere footage.
Yeah. Ooh, new jobs. It's gonna be DPS, so I'll probably never play it, but shades. Ooh. Reaper. Oh. Oh. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, the colours. Is it actually a necromancer? It... Oh, we best be getting some new Dark Knight. This is to make up for the fact that Dark Knight was a tank class. That's just showing off. And Beeper. Nice.
はい。そして新たなジョブの
That will be
リーパーと
what the people who wanted
And
the
so
kind
the
of
second
really
job
dark.
in Endwalker is the two-handed
Dark
side-wheeling Reaper.
そうコメントどうですかね。
Let's take a
Those
look
are-
at some comments.
Those special effect animations were really cool. I hope that
There's a little bit
means
of lag.
that we can get the old special effects for Dark Knight back. Like the really early ones that they had to get rid of really early because they lagged the game out too much.
すごいすごい。
That was really cool looking.
吉田さっきの鎌を回す。
But it's a DPS.
Someone has commented that asked Yoshida to spin the scythe like was done in the video that we just saw. Can you do that, please?
48歳の
He's just gonna ignore you.
It's a little bit difficult for a 48-year-old warrior of light.
やれてせいぜいこのポーズぐらいは。
You can do the
He
pose.
can do the pose though.
すいませんすいません調子に乗りました。
Sorry about that.
さて、このリーパーというジョブなんですが、これまでのファイナルファンタジーシリーズに登場している
Yeah, that looks super cool.
完全オリジナルのジョブになります。
So
And
as you have already probably noticed, this is a completely original job that you won't find in any other Final Fantasy, only in Final Fantasy XIV.
ちょっと CG の方も見ていきましょ
Let's take a look at some CG.
yes, let's
う。
please.
ゼノスがプレイヤーの皆さん、英雄光の戦士と
I mean,
再戦を
you
夢見て
can't
渇望するのが
get
この武器、
A huge amount cooler than that.
ね、大釜のようです。
Like,
And so,
If you thought Dark Knights were
Xenos
edgy.
has been longing for a battle with the Warrior of Light, and this is the job and the weapon, the scythe, that he took up to do so.
ゼノスがこの
Where
武器
does
を
the Spectre
握るのは
come from?
この後リリースされている、リリースが予定されているパッチ 5.55、黎明の使徒パート2にな
The way
る
the
そうです。
line to
Xenos
blinking is
will
kind
take
of
up
annoying.
that scythe in the second half of the Death Unto Dawn series, patch 5.55.
Okay.
それではですね、リーパーどんなジョブであるのか、
So we know it's a melee
少しでは
DPS.
ありますが、ご紹介していくことにしましょ
All right, so we want to talk today a little bit about what the Reaper job entails.
う。出てるよね。
All right, yeah.
Ah,
ハットがね、
Hrothgar Reaper.
深いんでね、
It's hard to see with the
見えない
hat.
ですよね。
Okay, it's on the screen.
ちょっとスクリーンの返し見ながらになる
That
ちょっと下向
looks
き
cool.
ご容赦ください
Okay, I'm going to be using the screens up here in front to check out. So if I'm looking down, it's just because I'm looking at the.
まずロールですね。
Melee
All right,
DPS.
so first off, we're going to look at the roll.
ロールは以前お伝えした通り、近接物理 DPS、メレー DPS になります。
And this is like we mentioned at the announcement showcase.
Yeah,
It's going
they
to be
did
melee
say.
DPS.
装備枠はですね、竜騎士と同じ。
It's a melee DPS that I might actually play as long as it's
The
not
melee
horrendously
armor
complicated.
subclass will be the same as Dragoon.
So it's maiming.
続いてメインウェポンです。こちらは今僕もね持ってます。この両手釜サイズがメイン武器
So
に
it
なりま
has the
す。
slightly
And its primary
heavier.
means of dealing damage is the two-handed scythe.
重たいんですよねこれ。
It's very heavy.
Put it
そして
down.
続いて対応クラスです。でこちら対応クラス
Required
は、
class, no?
最近エクスパンションでリリース
I
された
like the fact that they have to keep on
存在
saying this.
しません。
And as is the case with most of our recent job releases, there is no corresponding class.
主要の条件ですが、行月のフィナーレの権利を所持していることと、いずれかの条件
Really
が
like that
レベル
artwork.
70になっていることの2つが条件となってます。
All right, and there's two ways to be able to, or there's two things you have to do to be able to play the Reaper. That's first, you must have the Endwalker expansion.
Endwalker installed.
And second, you must have at least one job that is already at level 70.
Okay.
当然そうなってくるとですね、
Starts at
初期レベルは
Which would
70から
be
スタートとな
The
ります。
same level as my
starting level would
highest
be-
melee job, which is Samurai,
さ
oddly.
て、まあ、トレーラーね、ちらっ
I
と
don't know how I got that to
見てもらって
70 because I find it really
どんなね
complicated to play.
バトルのシステムがあって、どんなイメージなのか気になる
Because
と思
I'm
うので
rubbish.
バトルのイメージにもちょっと触れていきましょう。
All right, and so in the video that you just saw, you got to see the Reaper in action.
With
I'm gonna touch a little
shades?
bit upon how the Reaper actually fights in battle.
Ghosts.
まず基本的にリーパーはダイナミックな、物理
Dynamic
攻撃を得意としています。
And so as you saw, because this is a melee DPS character, they have a very dynamic style of attack.
Let's just hope they don't have like 7 combos to try and
攻
remember.
撃が主なダメージリソースです。
So the main source of damage is going to be coming from the scythe.
そしてです
But
ね、
it's also got
ちょっと
ghostly
ここからは
attacks
特
for.
徴的なんですが、
So from here is where we get a little bit unique.
ファ
Yeah,
イナルファンタジー14
which is where the
の世界で
different
よく
colours
耳
are
にする
coming from. Interesting that it's
異界
tied to the void
という
though.
単語。なんとこのリーパー、その異界ボイドから力を引き出
As in the
すやや
literal void, the
マークタイ
13th.
ムなイメージの能力を持ってます。
So a distinctive feature of this job is that it can call upon the power of the lifeless world you hear about so much in Final Fantasy XIV, the void.
そしてそこ
Yes,
か
then.
らアバターと呼ばれる、存在を刺激して、その能力を使っ
That's
て
an
いきま
odd
す。
sense of
And not
phrase.
only can Reapers wield the void's power, but they can also temporarily channel the power of a void scent into their bodies and use that power as their own. A void scent avatar.
先ほど
Edgelords.
動画にもありました。実はその
Void
ア
Lords
バターを自己に吸収してその能力をまとって戦うというのが非常に大きな特徴となってます。
And so one of the biggest gameplay things is going to be about channeling that void sense power and using that power in the battle, like you
I
saw.
wonder
in
if you'll
the
be able to
video.
swap your avatar or your void
新たな
scent in
ジョブ体
combats
験を皆様にお届けするというコ
To
ンセ
switch
プト
between
で、
different
開発進んでおります。
stances.
We created this job really trying to create something that was very unique and original to this job and unlike anything that you've seen in any other jobs.
そして
Good,
気に
because
な
I
る
don't
です
like
ね
the other melee
テス
jobs.
トスタートはこちらウルダハからになります。
Ulda.
So the job quests will be starting from Ulda.
ですので、行月のフィナーレ
Same
リリー
as
ス直後
Samurai
もう
and
俺は
Red
リーパー
Mage.
で進めていくぞという方はですね、リリース直前にウルダハでログアウトしておくことをお勧めします。
And so for those of you who want to be one of the first people in the world to play Reaper, make sure that before the release, the maintenance before the release of Endwalker, to log out in Ulda.
さて、
Okay.
まあ簡単ではありますけど、リーパーの紹介を軽くさせていただき
Wonder
ま
what
した
the
の
little
で、
vials on the belt are for.
それを踏まえてですね、もう一度動画をご覧いただこうと思います。そうすればね、ちょっとイメージも湧きやすいのかなと思います。ぜひご注目ください。
All right, so that was just a little taste of what the Reaper job is like. We will have some more information for you at a later date. But today, let's
Good.
take one more look at the video with all that we've just heard in mind.
Yes.
Play the video.
Yes, please. Let's see this again. Spoopy. That's really creepy. I love that green. That's a reskin of the... Is that a reskin or was it just one of the normal enemies? So it looks like it's... Yeah, the blue-green is the literal melee attacks, whereas the red is the avatar's attacks. But it looks like they've got some kind of combined symbiotic thing. Maybe a little bit like Blood of the Dragon or something like that, where you can combine the powers to buff yourself. Something along those lines. And then you get to use the red attacks,
All right, thank you very much.
which I assume are
pretty much what the Reaper job.
powered up versions of your normal melee.
Oh, somebody brought out a stand for my very, very heavy side. Gonna have a sip of water?
なんたってね、暑いんですよ。
It's very hot in this.
すっごい暑いんですよ。ちょっと待ってくださいね。キャップが開いてなかった。よいしょ。
the man is struggling.
So hot.
すごいな。コメントで吉田アバターアバターに表示してもらってって言われてる。
Ah, so they want an avatar to come to you. Should I be the avatar and come to you?
ソーシャルディスタンス
Social distance.
ちょっとアバター控室にちょっと黙っててっつって置いてきちゃったんで。
Ah, so he left his avatar back in the green room behind the stage.
はい。14オリジナルジョブとなるリーパーですが。
It is cool that they're adding original jobs. I mean, it.
All right, I know you all are looking forward to this job and really want to play it. We have to wait until the release, so please look forward to it.
I am already looking forward to it. I know that they've used the scythe in past
All right,
games.
next we'd like to move on to the story of Endwalker.
2月の新情報発表会でもお伝えしましたが、
Yeah, we've seen this before. Different slide layouts, I think.
日と月を一周してちょうどハイデリンゾディアーク編完結を迎えることになります。
And so, as I mentioned, the previous announcement showcase,
It's really interesting actually to see the logos with the Japanese titles on as well, because we don't normally see that in the West.
6.0 で、パッチ 6.3 までではなくて 6.0 までで全ての物語、完結を迎え
Oh, I
ま
wonder
す。
if we're going to get more information about the
Again, as mentioned
raids.
before, the story will completely wrap up in 6.0, not 6.1, 2, or 3, but in 6.0.
I think that's an interesting
しかし
choice
も
as
のす
well.
ごいボリュームになってしまってます。
And because of that, it means there's a lot of content in 6.0.
Oh, good.
ただですね、もちろんそれによってね、ファイナルファンタジー14が終わってしまうわけではありません。
However, this does not mean in any way that Final Fantasy XIV is ending.
僕自身も
They've got to
ですね、
keep on repeating
こちらも
that.
ですね、ファイナルファンタジー14ライフワークとして、その後もですね、パッチ 6.1 から新しい物語とともに開発運営を続けてまいります。
Because I myself consider Final Fantasy XIV to be my life's work, I plan to continue working on both service and
And
development.
I like the fact that
well
he keeps on
beyond
bringing
6.0.
this up.
And so, from patch 6.1, we'll be starting a brand new story separate from the Hydaelyn and Zodiac story.
はい。
In a way, it's sad that he needs to keep on
皆
saying
さんの多くは
that.
ですね、すでにパッチ 5.5、黎明の使徒パート1のメインストーリーご覧になっていることかと思います。
So, probably most of you watching today have already played part 1 of Death Unto Dawn, patch
Yep.
5.5.
しかし確信にいよいよ行月
I
の
still
ね
think we're going to
差し掛かる
find
のは
out what
当然
the
パート
keening
2からに
whale
なります
was that...
However, it's part 2 where you're going to start really getting into the thick of things.
あらまだ申請やってる
that
わ
caused the final
っていう
days
コメント
for
に見
the...
ましたね
Wait a minute. Somebody was
Division.
saying they're still on Realm Reborn?
I see this.
もしまだ今パッチ 5.5 まで行ってないよとかまだグレンの途中だよとかいう方はですね、2つちょっと検討してほしくて
Okay, so if there's any of you out there who have not played through 5.5 yet, or 5.5 yet, yes,
もちろん見てほしいんですよ一声見てほしいんですけ
we
ど
want you to watch the keynote, of course.
ネタバレすごいんで、
But there are a lot of spoilers, so
Beware.
ちょっとクリアしてから見るか今日見た後 バーンと頭ぶつけて記憶を消すか。
So we want you to either maybe, you know, refrain from watching some of the key parts today and watch it at another date, or maybe watch it today and then maybe hit your head against the wall and forget everything that you saw today so you can focus on the story.
ちょっと自己防衛に努めていただけると助かります。
Yeah, but please be careful. Don't really hit your head.
Disclaimer.
その
I wonder if the president of Square Enix is going to come out on stage and disrupt something again.
But as for where the journey in Endwalker will take us, an interesting name came up in
Old Sharlayan.
FFXIV, didn't it?
今回皆さん光の戦士がメインシナリオで
Did he say 5.5 on the trailer?
話をしましたが、その前に拠点となるべき場所がこちらになります。
So we did talk about how players will be going to the moon in Endwalker, but before you go to the moon, you'll be working from here.
アートワークが出てますね。
There's the artwork.
こちら
It looks kind of different, actually.
新たなタウンとなる
So this is our new Crystarium,
になります。
Old
It's up
Sharlayan.
Old Sharlayan.
漆黒のヴィランズ
It's a lot greener than
クリスタリウムに該
the actual
当するのが
CGI
今回
version of it
この
was.
オールドシャーレアンです。
So our Old Sharlayan will serve as a hub city similar to the Crystarium in Shadowbringers.
You said
そう
a
なんです
hub
シャーレアンっ
city,
てみんな
not
呼ぶん
the
です
hub
けど、実は
city.
ねオールドシャーレアンが正式な名称です。
Everyone is calling it Sharlayan, but actually the name of this place is called Old Sharlayan.
ではこのオールドシャーレアンについていろいろお話しする前に、
So this is where they
今日は
retreated
ウォークスルー
to
の動画をご用意してますので、まずはそちらを
after leaving the Dravanian hinterlands.
But before I talk a little bit more about Old Sharlayan, we would have a walkthrough video to show you. A world premiere of the footage. Let's check it out.
あ、ただしです。
Oh, wait.
ただしです。
But
ごめ
wait.
んなさい、ごめんなさい。今日出すいろんなこの後もね、いろいろ動画出てきますけど、
Okay.
まだ開発中なので環境の詰めが甘いところはね、ちょっとご容赦いただけれ
Okay.
ばと思います。
So all of the footage that you're going to see here that you've seen before and what you're going to see from here through the whole keynote is all still in development. So there are still lots of room for work on the development side when it comes to environmental effects and such.
それでは行きましょう。
All right, so let's take a look.
So it's not quite finished yet. Okay, so this is clearly reusing some assets from Idleshire. Yeah, this video is getting compressed to hell, but oh, it is more green than I realised. That's not quite finished. I'm going to take a guess. Big ass library. That looks like some kind of information desk where we'll be able to do stuff.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
Yeah, that will
ね
that will almost certainly look better with a proper kind of 4K or 10, even a 1080p
楽しみじゃねえよ
video,
Everyone's
because
excited
it's
about how beautiful the area
going
is,
through
and
two
they're
different
waiting
forms of
for,
compression here, I
when we're gonna get
suspect.
housing in the area as well.
次イシュガルドだって言ってるじゃない
We told you. Next up is Ishgard for housing.
まあまあオールドシャーレアンね学術都市ですけどあんまり協力的じゃないですもんねここに住んでる人たちね
So, yes, it is a seat of knowledge and a city of scholars, but as you know from the story, these guys don't really like to cooperate and play nice with the rest of the world.
No,
そう
they're
地の都
isolationist
学術都市オール
assholes.
ドシャーレアンこれまでストーリーの中では幾
Which is
度も
why the
語られ
Scions
てきた
broke
都
away
市
from
です
them.
が行月のフィナーレでいよいよ皆さんこの都市へ上陸となります
So we've all heard about this city-state in the story, but finally in Endwalker, you, the Warriors of Light, will be able to set foot.
ちょっとねスクリーンショットを見ていきましょ
Let's take a look at some screenshots.
う実はですね僕も
Yeah, it does look unfinished for now. Again, I don't know if it's because of the compression or what, but
So we'd like to say
the
that,
flickering doesn't help.
For a lot of
I
us,
assume
modern
that's being
development
caught on the
that have been
camera.
around since the early years of development on Final Fantasy XIV, the city-state of Sharlayan is very important to us.
It looks like it's not
実は
quite
ですね
lit
14僕が担
right
当
yet.
する前、オリジナル14の開発中期までは実はスタートタウンというのはウルダハ、グリダニア、リムサ、イシュガルド、アラミゴ、そしてオールドシャーレアンの6都市でスタートする予定だったそうです。
So back in the days before I took charge of 1.0, there were meant to be 6 starting cities for quite some time in development. Those being Olda, Gridania, Limsala Minsa, Ishgard, Alamigo, and then Sharlayan.
結果ですね、開発期間が、なくなってしまって、まあ、皆さんご存知の通
So
り、
one
3
for
都
each
市で
of
スター
the
トすることになり、
elements.
僕が担当してから、RLM リボン、新生版を作るにあたっては、やっぱり開発期間を考えると、3都市でスタートせざるを得なかったという状況になります。
But in the end, there was not enough time, and that number was cut from 6 to 3, which was a status quo that we maintained when rebuilding the game for Realm Reborn.
ただ正直ね、ゲームデザインのことを言うと、3都市でもね、僕、正直スタートは多すぎると思うんで。
But from a game design's perspective, I even think that 3 starting cities is a lot for a game.
仮にね、6都市でね、僕引き継いでたらね、結構困ってたと思う。
It has caused
If there
them some
were
fun
6
problems.
cities to start at, when I took over on the game, it would have been a lot of work to get
Yeah.
everything done.
だって考えてみてください。初期シナリオ6個作んなきゃいけないんですよ、だって。
So you'd have to make, just think about it, when you have a story, you have to create 6 separate stories for each city. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, and then join them all up at
結果的に
15.
ですね、そこから10年近い歳月をかけて、まあ、蒼天の石ガルドで、石
Yeah,
ガル
it,
ドの
it
大
just
門門
doesn't
が開
quite
き、
look like
スト
it's
ンブラッ
been
ドで
lit
アラミゴを奪
right
還し、
yet.
そしてようやくオールドシャーレンへ
Or
たどり
maybe
着
I'm
きま
just
す。
too used to the slightly
It's been almost
oversaturated
10
colours in
years, since then. And in
Northront.
that time, the gates to Ishgard have opened, Alamigo has been liberated, and now we look to Old Sharlayan.
ようやくですね、皆さんにその全貌をお見せすることができそうです。
And finally, we can show you the whole picture that we've wanted to for such a long time.
もうね、この邸宅もね、すごいですよね。
We look at this very lavish manor here.
これ実はね、意味のある建
Is
物
that
なんです
House
けど
Levier?
This is very important to the story,
中身は内緒にしとこう。
but we're not going to talk about that today.
That's Alphinaud's house.
さあ、ちょうどですね、オールドシャーレアンの設定今お話ししましたので、このまま
Don't think I'll be
先ほど
unique in
公開した
making that
フルトレーラーの
inference.
内容についても触れていこうと思います。
Okay, and because Old Sharlayan was featured in the extended trailer that you just watched, we're going to talk a little bit about the trailer.
Oh, good.
まず、なんといっても注目点、祖剣歌うまくなったよね。
So the first thing that we noticed, that you all probably noticed, was that, wow, Soken's gotten really good at singing in these past months.
ね最初ね、にゃにゃにゃにゃにゃにゃにゃって言ってただけだったんだけど。
So yeah, a couple months ago in the trailer, it was just kind of, Soken mumbling a little bit, but this time,
Yes.
まあまず
Oh,
は
yeah.
そ
that-
の行月のフィナーレのメインテーマに触れていこ
Yeah.
うと思います。
It just,
so we'd
I
like
said it
to
wasn't
talk a little
clear.
bit about the main theme for Endwalker.
今回ですね、まあメインコンポーズいつも通り、祖剣正義でお届けしております。
And so, of course, the main composer is our world famous Masayoshi Soken.
そして歌詞
Infamous.
ね、我らのマイケル・クリス
Who's
ト
this
ファー
Michael Christopher
がメンシナリオライターの石川にアドバイスもらいながら書いた。
Yes, and the lyrics were handled by me, Michael Christopher Koji Fox. I got some feedback from the main scenario writer, Natsuko Ishikawa, and used
She's
that
the-
feedback to
The lady that wrote
produce the lyrics.
Shadowbringers.
なんか僕聞いたら、
If I remember correctly,
ひどいスケジュールだったらしいんだね
Ah, yes. So Yoshida-san has said that he heard that the schedule for creating these lyrics was really, really tight.
How many days?
How many days? Let's see. 1, 2,
3? Only 3?
about 3 or 4 days.
About 3, 4 days.
Yes, I think about 3 or 4 days.
No months.
Not months, not weeks. 3 or 4 days. But that's a long time
Oh.
for the Sophia was 2 hours.
I like the fact that they're having a good laugh with this.
はい。というわけで、
Wait, Sophia, as in
もしくは4
the
日で
goddess?
え
He had 2 hours to write her
中止
theme.
になってるのでね、また意味をぜひね、 あれこれ推測して
2
もらいたいと
hours.
思います。
3 or 4 days. Yes, 3 or 4 days, but I think we've got some really good lyrics up there. There's lots of hidden meaning behind them, as
Well,
always.
of course there is.
So
There always
it's fun
is.
to go in and speculate as to what we're talking about. All right.
そしてですね、アディショナルボーカル、ゲストボーカルとして、今回はアマンダさん、トゥモロー&ズモローでね、おなじみアマンダさんにまた参加していただいてます。
And then for additional female vocals, we had a guest singer, Amanda Aiken, who you also might remember from the Shadowbringers song Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
そして今回はですね、満を持して演奏はザ・プライマルズで生音でお届けしております。
What's going
And
on
the
with the
music
boy with
was
like chin?
recorded live by the Primals.
Is that
そ
just
してですね、最初に
light glinting off his
ソケン
stubble?
歌うまくなったよねって、当然ソケンではございません。
And then we talked a little bit earlier about how Soken's got really good at singing, but that was just a joke. The main vocals is not Soken this time.
今回メインボーカルを、サム・カーターさんに務めていただき
I
ま
have
した。
no idea who that is.
アーキテクツというね、バンドのボーカルでもあります。
And so, from the band Architects, we have the vocal stylings of Sam Carter.
素晴らしい曲ね、
I don't know who
いっぱいあ
that
り
is
ますんで、
at all.
その曲もぜひね、聴いてみてください。
But hey,
まあ、特に今回、ね、
I assume he's reasonably
ね
famous?
ソンブラッドのところからのシャウトがもうたまんなく好きなの。
And so, the Architects have released many, many albums. They have a lot of great songs out there. If you have not heard of them, please check them out.
Nope.
Personally, I really, really loved how the trailer turned out, and especially that part where they sing the Stormblood theme, Storm of Blood, where he starts shouting. That's great. Gives me goosebumps every time.
そうっすよね、シャドウ、ソンブラッドのとこめちゃめちゃかっこいいですよね。コメントでもみんなそうそうって。
Everybody also liked the Stormbloods part.
That's what I thought there was a bit of other themes in
こ
there.
の裏で、各
I'm glad it wasn't just my imagination getting confused in my old age
公開されてます。
and the fact that it's
Okay, and
off 2 in the morning.
already during this keynote, we have released the trailers for all of our other language versions as
Trailer,
well on
Jobs.
YouTube.
おっと待って待って。
Oh, good.
でもね、見るならこの貴重公演が終わってからにしましょうね。
But we'd have you wait until the end of the keynote to go and watch them.
Watch
そうで
them.
すちょっと、
Yes.
もうちょっと見てくる。
Don't go anywhere.
People are like, wait a minute, I'm going to go watch it now. Can you hold on the keynote for a second?
まあ一応公開ね、ちゃんとすぐしましたんで、たっぷりね、聞いていただければと思い
All
ます。
right, so it's ready in all versions. So when you have the time, please go and check it out. And
Are they in
listen to it anytime
4K?
you like.
That would be
さて
nice.
では、ちょっとフル版のトレーラーに登場したキャラクターも少し見ていこうと思います。
So let's introduce you to some of the characters from the trailer as well.
Ooh.
もうね、すげえ汗俺。
Ooh, I'm very sweaty.
まずこの人ですね。
Okay, first off, we have
よいしょ。エスティニアン。
Who's it?
Estinien.
Estinien.
まあね、彼の参戦を
Is that
待ち
Tiamat?
望んでいた人も多かったんじゃないかなと思います。蒼天の石ガルドのね、トレーラーではほんのちょっとね、ヘルメット
That's not Tiamat, is it?
出てますけど、今回ついにね、外して、
Because he's got feathered wings.
暁として、ついにね。
Does Tiamat have feathered wings?
So plenty of you have been waiting for him to join the cause. We did see him in the Heavensward trailer, but he had his helmet on. This time, he arrives without helmet, and he's joined the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
まあここでね、
Yes.
ヘブンズワードのアレンジがね、流れるのもフルトレーラーしびれるところですよね。
And as if you maybe noticed, there's a piece of Heavensward music in the trailer where he appears.
Yes.
先日の
Yes,
情報
there
発
is.
表会でもお伝えした通り、このエスティニアン、行月のフィナーレで新たなフェイスとして皆さんと共に危機に向かって立ち向かってくれることになります。
And as I mentioned in the announcement showcase, not only will he appear in the story, but he'll also join you in the dungeons as part
As
of the trust
trust.
system. in
Because
it.
we can't have
ま
Reen
あ
on
ね、
the
さっきもね、なんかむ
source.
ちゃくちゃなね、スターダイブ決めてたし、パッチではね、なんか一人で帝国兵器ボコボコにしたりしてましたけど、あそこまで強いかどうかはわかんないです
So
ね。
as to whether his attacks when he's in the trust system will be as intense as what we just saw in the trailer, well,
Probably not.
we'll have to see.
Are they going to program the trust with some AoE for
Yes,
this?
he's strong when he's alone.
Yes.
仲間いるとちょっと甘えてくるかもしれない。
So yeah, when he has other people around him, he kind of tones it down a little bit. Think of their feelings.
そう、これまで
Yes.
ね、イシュガルドの騎士を抜けてから無職だった彼もついに就職することができました。
That's right. He's been jobless for a while, but he's finally found a new job. He's employed.
そして次、おっと、竜騎士エスティニアンをその背に乗せて共に戦うね、ドラゴンが、登場してました。
And of course, there's also that dragon that carries Estinien on his back and fights at his side.
エスティニアンはかの竜のことをブリトラと呼んでましたね。
So Estinien called him Vrtra, didn't he?
Did he?
まあ、ブリトラとい
I
え
missed
ば
that.
ね、フレースベルグとかニーズヘックとかティアマットと同じ七大天竜の一
Is that one
翼。
of the
それ
seven?
がどのようにシナリオに絡んでくるのか、ぜひご注目ください。
And Vrtra, like Hrothgar and Nidhogg and Tiamat, is actually one of the first brood. So as for how he's involved in the story, well, you're just going to have to wait and find out.
Well, of course we are.
日本語のですね、コメントですね、ブリトラ。
There were 7, weren't there? Or were there 5?
ブリトラです。
There's some misspelling on the Japanese side. They call it Vrtra, but it's Vrtra.
かっこよく
VRIT
さあ、
RA
そしてもう一人。
Vrtra?
なんかね、エレゼン、ね。
This
エレ
dude.
ゼン言いましたね。
And of course, there is also this intriguing Elezen.
彼の名前はまだちょっとこの場ではね、明かすことができないのですが、行月のフィナーレの中で非常に重要な役割を果たしていくことになります。
But I cannot reveal his name yet. However, he does have a very important role in the Endwalker story.
It's
で
Alphynos'
その
dad.
市場はですね、間もなくリリースを予定しているパ
He's even got his
生
eyes.
命の使徒パート2にて明かされることになります。
However, you won't have to wait long to learn about him, as you'll learn more about him in the patch 5.5, part 2 of Death Unto Dawn.
いやしかしね、みんなね、すごいんだよな。まあ、もしかすると、まあ、コウジとね、小田さんが一生懸命頑張って作った
I'm tired.
エオルゼアをね、熟読している人はもしかしたらもう分かってるかも
Give me
しれ
some
ない。
more videos, Yoshi-P,
However,
to keep
as
me
it
awake.
seems in the comments here, those players who have read the Encyclopedia or is back and forth may already have a good idea of who this is.
さあ、ね、何さんなんでしょうね。もう
I have.
YouTube もすごいですね。
4 times?
A lot of speculating going
Which
on
takes a
on
while,
YouTube.
by the way. They're not small books, the Encyclopedia of Eos is.
というわけで
Possibly a good time
ス
actually
トーリーに関して
to have another read through, because it's been a while.
Right, and that's all we have for the characters in the trailer.
もちろんですね、
Yoshi's really
ちょっと紹介はしてない
struggling
ですけ
here.
ど暁の決命の盟友としてですね、サンクレット、ウリエンジェ、そしてヤシトラ、
Yeah,
さらに
Urianger
新入したグラハ
looks a little bit
皆
odd.
さんと共に戦っていくことになります。
However, you will also have your other allies with you from the Scion of the Seventh
I
Dawn
feel
for the
like-
Endwalker story, Yashtola, Thancred, Urianger, and even Grahatia.
He wasn't
で
quite
このヴィランズでは
fully
皆さん
animated.
世界を共にね、彼らと一緒に救って
Stola looked
世界の
alright.
真相の一部に彼らも
Thancred
触れ
looked
ました。
thinner.
さあ、行月のフィナーレでさらなる謎が解き明かされていくときに、まあ、彼らの活躍っていうのにもぜひご注目ください。
In Shadowbringers, along with saving the first, they also stumbled upon part of a truth of their own world. As for what they will do about it, and what further revelations await them, you have to see it in Endwalker.
あ、もちろんね、クルルさんもね、タタル城もね、活躍しますよ、暁ですから。
And Kryl and Tatara will also be there as well. I mean, they're the Scions. We can't leave them out.
さあ
Tataru!
では次のセクション行きましょ
All right, let's move on to the next section.
う。続いては新たな新規フィールドのお話をもうちょっと
Yeah,
具体的に
new areas.
お伝えしていこ
Are
う
we
と
going
思
to
い
get
ます。
a...
All right, so let's delve a little bit deeper into the new places your journey will take you.
我々拡張パッケージ毎回 RPG 1本
Gonna get a walkthrough video, because I love
ということで
those.
新たなエリアも多数実装されてます。今回も同様ですし、むしろシナリオ全ボリュームがめちゃくちゃ増えてるので、その新たなエリアをちょっと紹介していこうかなと思ってます。
And as I've said, you can always expect the same amount of brand new areas to be added to Endwalker as in previous expansions. We have a lot to show you today.
じゃあどのエリアっていう前にここも早速動画を見てもらおうかなと思います。
So again, rather than talk about it, we have again some world premiere footage to show you. Let's
Woohoo! World premiere. Massive new areas. Labyrinthos. Where's this then? It's Sharlayan somewhere. A farming state? New collector's edition mount? This is weird music.
さあ、この今動画でご覧いただいた新しいこれフィールドです。このフィールドの名前をラビリンソスと呼びます。
So, the first of our walkthrough videos here shows an area
The
called
first of.
Labyrinthos.
じゃあちょっとね、スクリーンショットも見ましょう
So
か。
let's take a look at some screenshots of the same area.
まあね、今動画でもご覧いただきましたが、かなり不思議なフィールドです。
Yeah, I feel like
As we noticed
everything's
in the video, the place is a bit of an enigma.
slightly
すごいね、
oversaturated.
建物には歴史を感じるんですけど、なんか妙なね。
Again, it's quite probably just
Buildings
how
have
the
a very ancient
stream
old look to them,
stream is
but, there seems
compressed.
to be some kind of strange technology at work here as well.
ち
Yeah.
ょっとだけネタばらししますが、実は
I wonder if it's really on the moon.
地下です。
So I'm going to tell you something special about this place. This is actually underground.
地下に存在するフィールドで、
Okay.
ドーム状の
Yes.
空には人工の
So
太陽
those
が存在するようです。
So yes,
Chunks.
Labyrinthos is a subterranean area with a dome serving as a sky lit by an artificial sun.
まあ、な
That
ぜこんなフ
is
ィールドが存在するのか、まあ
interesting.
そして誰によってね、作られたのか、
Keening
など
from
など
beneath the
まあ
earth.
謎はね、すごいあるんですけど、まあ、目的があってね、皆さんここを訪れることになります。それはね、皆さんの手でお確かめいただきたいと思います。
So, of course, where this place is and why you have to go there are all mysteries that you can look forward to, unraveling on your own in the Endwalker story.
Mm-hmm.
ではですね、さらに今度は新しい紹介を続けていこうと思います。
All right, and we have
Thavnair.
another new announcement for you.
続いてはね、サベネア島になります。
So next
So-
is Thavnair and Radz-at-Han.
Yeah,
こ
we
ち
knew
ら
we
は
were
です
going
ね
here.
ストーリー上は何度も名
That's a
前
new
が
screenshot,
登場してきたエリアです。
So again, you may have heard these names before a lot in the main scenario up until now.
で、このサベネア島と
Radz-at-Han
それから
oils
これらにも出たラザハン、2つまとめて動画にしてありますので、
Rowena
こ
loves
ち
the
らも早
place.
速ご覧いただこうかなと思います。
But unlike the announcement showcase, today we have actually brought you some in-game footage of both the area and the city. Let's take a look.
Excellent.
いきますよ。
Ah. Give me some cool music. Interesting that it's got the comma-shaped aetherites, and there's a tower in the background. Those are the purple crystals. That's a cool, weird looking. Ooh, we get to go right up close to that one. That's very purple and very blocky. So we've got a kind of jungle almost area. Peacock statues. So kind of Eastern gods. Yeah, everything's just a little bit too saturated on this. I mean, I know it's supposed to be bright and colourful, but possibly not this oversaturated. Yeah, they've gone for the kind of Indian approach. The one with light just looks really flat. It's weird. This is going to sound terrible, but it actually makes me think of like Final Fantasy XI.
サベネア島ラザハンのウォークスルー動画
But
でした。
that's the thing about
What did you think
FF14.
of
Always
the
looks
Radz-at-Han,
better.
Thavnair walkthrough video.
in the dark.
動画はね、
in
明るい
nighttime
青空
zones.
で展開されてましたが、まあちょっとさっき工事にも言ってもらいましたが、現在環境の作り込みをやってる途中です。まあね、あんな大空にねなればいいんですけどね。
So as I mentioned before, we're currently in the process of creating these areas, and that means adding environmental effects as well. In the video, you saw Radz-at-Han under a nice, peaceful blue sky. Whether it will be like that in the real game?
No, it's going to be on
まあ
fire.
僕ここねすごいお気に入りの場所です。
So as you see here in the screenshot, this is one of my favorite places in the new area.
まあ
It's very
新しい
green.
加減ですよね。
That's a cool
A
statue,
completely
though.
different style of architecture than we've seen in the other areas.
木の葉っぱの色とか、それからそれを映し込むね水の色とか、
Is it
肌のね
Hindu?
やっぱり地域色出すのにこだわってるところなんで、すごいお気に入りです。
Esque.
The art and graphics team have spent a lot of time, selecting colors that would make this area look very original, like the greens of the trees and the color of the water.
Almost 3 o'clock.
Let's take a look at another
まあ以前
screenshot.
もそう以前もちょっとお伝えしましたが、
Dancers
サベネア島はですね、
and
踊り子
peacock.
ダンサーの発祥
Oh,
の地でも
yeah,
あるので
because dancers have the
踊り子
peacock
の地
motif,
は
and they're
ある
from
程度
Thavnair.
するようです。
And as a lot of you know, who have played the dancer story, Thavnair is the origin of the dancer job, and so we see here statues honoring past dancers.
Did I ever do the level 80
まあ
dancer
ここまでを
quest?
見ただけでも、
I've got a load of those to do. Now I think about it. Still haven't done the red mage one, or the paladin one, or the black mage one.
Hopefully by seeing these walkthrough videos that we've shown you today and at the announcement showcase, you can see that there are a lot of different types of areas from what we've had before in the game, as well as within the Endwalker expansion.
This is
itself.
good, because I like variety. As long as it doesn't cost a fortune to teleport between them all.
Right, and next we want to show you some artwork of another area.
Oh. Ooh.
まあこちらに関してはね、まあちょっと雰囲気を見ると、
floating city,
登場した妖精郷イルミネ
but
のような
not
ファンタジー
elegant
あふれ
in
る都市
design.
に見えます都市というかエリアに見えますよね。
I mean, if you look at it, it kind of looks similar to, that has that same fantastical feeling that Ilmeg from Shadowbringers had.
But kind of crossed with the Sea of
これもね
Clouds.
新しいエリアの一つです。
This is also a new area.
Well, yes.
ああラピュタは本当にあったんだって書いてますね、コメントにね。
I'm trying to think where that could be.
It really existed.
こちらに関しては詳しいことは言えないので、まあちょっとアートワークだけで、ご紹介、ここまでとしておきましょう。
However, we cannot say any more about this area today, so we're just going to leave it with this screen or with this artwork.
新情報発表会でも、ご紹介しましたこちら新たなフィールドの一つガレマルドですね。スクリーンショット見てみましょう。
All right, and this is one we introduced last time. You will be heading to the imperial capital of Garlemald.
That's concept art, isn't it?
ガレマルド
rather than
帝国の首都
in-game.
ガレマルドにも皆さ
Or is it?
ん足を踏み入れることになります。
And so players will actually be able to
I know.
visit the
That
imperial
looks
capital.
pretty in-gamey, actually.
パッチ 5.5 で語られているように
So we actually get to go to what's left of
ガレマル
Garlemald.
ドを破壊しようとしています。
But as we learned in patch 5.5, the Garlean Empire has already started crumbling from within.
まあ実際そのゼノスとか
See, that stuff in the background looks
パ
concept-y.
っていうのはまあどんなものなのか。
So by going here, maybe we will find out what Xenos and Fandaniel are actually after.
そ
Maybe.
してね、皆さんが行くことになるよと言われている月ですね。
And there's one more place that we have not touched upon yet that we've been talking about,
The moon.
the moon.
まずはアートワークご覧いただきましょう。
So let's take a look at some of the artwork.
なん
Lunarians.
とそこ紹介すんだみたいなね。
Ooh.
こちらですが、エリアの名前を嘆きの海と
Mare Lamentorum.
And so this area is going to be called Mare Lamentorum.
どのようにしてここへ訪れ、まあ、そこに何が待ってるのか、まあ、詳しくは、ね、もちろん語れないんですが
Tears?
ほんの少しだけ、その嘆きの海と呼ばれる月面の特定地域、これもですね動画を持ってきましたのでちょっと見てみることにしましょう。
So how you will get to this place and what will you find? Well, I cannot say too much here, but I
Surprise.
can give you a little sneak peek with this exclusive video. Have a look.
Ooh. Let's take a look around. They'll have removed all the NPCs, of course. So this looks like a stronghold for... Yeah, so it's an entire zone with multiple biomes by the look of it. Yeah, it looks like it got some of those memory crystals that the ancients were using. It also looked like there was a crashed... Was that Allegan or Imperial ship?
It's a very interesting place, and a lot of people have already probably started speculating, but one thing we can say from the video is it does look like that there's air and gravity, so...
How mysterious.
But there is a reason for that, and that will be explained in the
Of course there is. I mean, we spent...
touching upon the BGM, lots of comments about it. Why is that BGM? We'll have to find out in the story.
Yeah, that was the Tempest music, so it's linked to...
So when we say Mare Lamentorum, does not mean the entire moon is Mare Lamentorum. This is just one area on the moon.
現実での月もそうですが、月もね、いろんな場所に名前があるんですよね。静かの海とかね、クレーターにも名前あるし。ああいう形で月の特定エリアのことだと思ってください。
Just like the moon here that we have has area names based off of the sea, like the Sea of Tranquility, so does the moon of Hydaelyn.
Yeah, it's the Sea of Tears? Or the Wailing Sea.
However, we cannot say any more today, and so it's going to be up.
But Mare is sea in Latin. So Lamentorum is tears, wailing, sorrow, something along those lines.
We remember で埋まってんだよね。
It's all we remember.
ならば覚えていろね。すごいな。そしてですね、ムーンハウジングって言うなよ。
Moon housing? Please don't say moon housing.
But.
Twitch is all we remember.
More housing, please, Yoshi.
いやーすごいな。もうね、YouTube はね、もうすごいスピードなんですよ。
So many comments on YouTube. It's scrolling so fast.
月に移住がトレンドに入ってるんですよね。
It's already trending about how you can move to the moon.
多分 Twitter のトレンドじゃないのかな。さあさあ、じゃあ進めてまいりましょう。
All right, so let's continue.
で、まあ盛りだくさんの、
we're an hour in.
その新フィールドをご紹介したんですが、その冒険の先で出会うキャラクターを、もうちょっとそれからね強敵とかもねご紹介しようと思います。
So we've shown you a bunch of new areas. Now let's talk about the types of enemies or creatures that will be populating those areas.
Anima.
When you get there.
Oh, it's the Namazu again.
Every time I see this screenshot with the Namazu in front, I just
Yeah, you can tell from the sylphs in the corner that they've just massively.
Right, we'll start off with this.
They're right. Magus sisters.
So we have this trio of characters first.
メガス三姉妹と呼ばれているようです。
And it looks like they're called the Magus sisters.
Very different from the designs that we're used to.
Final Fantasy IV にもその名前がね登場してますが、
Oh no.
もちろんそのキャラクターたちと同一ではありません。Final Fantasy XIV の中でメガス三姉妹と呼ばれているキャラクターたち。
Did you say this was designed for Final Fantasy IV's version of
あ
them?
るのでしょう。
And you may know these characters from Final Fantasy IV. However, they aren't quite the same in Final Fantasy XIV. The Magus sisters for 14 will be completely original. As to what role they serve and who they are, you have to find out.
Yeah, I remember the Magus sisters in 10 and the
もう
dark
一キャ
versions
ラ
of
クタ
them.
ーご紹介しましょ
I would like to introduce another tribe.
う。おっと、
Buddies
急に経路が変わりましたね。
Oh, this is completely different from the ones we just saw.
種族なのかな
Wonder if this is a tribe.
こ
Lunarians.
ちら、名前
Loporrits.
と
And so these are called the Loporrits.
They're bunny
かわいいよね、こういう、
children.
Very cute.
They are quite cute, actually.
でですね、実は非常に重要な役割を
New race
果たしてくれる
confirmed?
種族になります。
These new characters play a very, very important role in the story.
Of course they do.
どうやらですね、彼ら月にお住まいのようです。
And you
Created
guys
by the
will find
ancients and
on
now
the moon.
run a stronghold on the moon.
あ、ちょっと待ってね。飲みかけの水どれだっけ
You trying to find your water?
開幕さ、ダイエットの話をちょっとしたじゃない
Okay, so we talked a little bit about my diet at the beginning of the keynote.
まあこのリーパーの衣装を作るのに体型をまあ維持しろとは言われたんですよ。
So when creating this costume, I was told specifically to keep my weight down.
あまりの暑さでね、むしろこれやってたら痩せるな。
But maybe I didn't even have to work out. I could have just worn this. This is making me get thinner because of all the sweat.
すいません、ありがとうございます。さあ、
All right, thank you. Let's move on.
謎多い
He is
決め方
clearly
で
struggling.
彼らね、レポリットに
Join
どん
the
な
club.
役割があるのか、まあそれをね、どう果たすのか、そもそも味方なのかどうかね、
They are really
いろ
cute.
んな想像がかき立てられますね。
So these Loporrits, what are they doing up there on the moon? Are they friends or are they foes? I bet you're coming up with theories already.
Ah,
まだ
confirmed that they're on the moon.
ちょっと新情報もね、あるんですけど、一旦ここで、前回新情報発表会でお伝えした内容も、前回ね見てない方もいらっしゃると思うので簡単におさらいしておこうと思います。
Okay, like we always do at these keynotes, we've talked about a lot of new stuff, but before we're going to go to even more new stuff, we want to go back to the announcement showcase and touch upon some of the things that we talked about there for people that may have missed the showcase.
Okay.
いやちょっと吉田息上がってきたなって言われた。そんなのないよ。そんなのないよ
People think you're out of breath? No, you're not out of breath. Show them. Show them.
よしいけるよ。
You can do it.
さあダイジェスト簡単にいきましょ
All
う。
right, let's take a quick review.
まずお伝えしましたね。
New level cap,
新しいもう一つ
new
のジョ
healer,
ブヒーラージョブ、
5 new
賢者
role
の
quest
実装がありま
lines
す
with
Right, first off, we have
DPS being split further.
レベルキャップ解放されて上限が90になり、そして新
Gold
たな
Saucer
ロールクエス
update
ト、今回一つ増えてですね、ロールクエスト、ご用意されております。
And along with a higher level cap going from 80 to 90, we have 5 new role quest lines.
almost level
みん
99.
な優しいな、無理するな。よっしゃ、無理するなってか。
Everybody's telling you you can put the scythe down,
大丈夫、大丈夫。まだ大丈夫よ。
but yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
神木キュンと話すまでは倒れられないんでね。
Yes, you cannot fall down yet.
さあ、で次ね。フェイス
No more
システムがアッ
belts.
プデートされて、
Trust
エスティニアンが追加され
system
る先ほどね、お知らせしました。
Right, and there's going to be a big update of the trust system with the addition of Estinien.
そして重要なのがですね、
Enmity's been
この
changed.
バトル計算式の
Stat squish.
And then another one of the biggest things that we talk about was the downscaled values in battle calculations.
でこの場では時間
I
が
love
経って
that
しまう
they've
ので
got such
詳しくはお伝えしま
a
せんが
long
もちろん
name for it.
トピッ
It's
ク
a
ス
stat
はぜひで
squish.
すね、前回の新情報発表会の中で詳しくその意味と内容を触れてますので、そちらをご確認いただけると助かります。
We will be talking about this, not talking about this here today at the keynote, but we will have a detailed explanation of exactly what we're doing after this. And so please look forward to that. And anyone that needs information on it, please make sure you watch that.
そして長年ですね、光の戦士たちの、腰回りをね守ってきた帯装備なんですが、6.0 のタイミングで、アイテムカテゴリーから、消滅させていただこうかなと。その分、メインウェポンと指輪の、あまりチェスト容量を増やしていこうと思います。
And as we mentioned before, we are removing the belts from the game and replacing them with more slots for main weapons and rings.
こちらはですね、プレイヤーの皆さん何か特別なことをしていただく必要はありません。すべて遺失物管理人の方にアイテムは移動させていただきますので、かつて光の戦士たちの腰を守っていたものというアイテムとして、遺失物管理人が預かることになりますので、そちらで、思い出に浸るなり、分解するなりしていただきたいと思います。
And don't worry about you losing those belts. Again, we know that they've protected your waist throughout the years, and they might still be important to you. So you will not lose them. Do not worry. Just make sure that you put them away before. Again, the information on that is available. Will be available before the patch hits, so you'll know exactly what to do with your belts.
そして
Trash them.
新たな少人数の PVP コンテンツを実装するというところ、特にですね、海外勢から非常に多くの実は質問いただいております。
And of course, there's the announcement about the new small-scale PvP mode.
I'm
We have
awake.
a lot of interest regarding this, especially from users in North America and Europe.
こちらですね、全く新しいタイプ
Not for
の、
me.
ルールによる PVP ですし、新しい報酬システムもご用意してます。
This is a completely different style of PvP system than the current one, and has a completely different reward system.
でこちらについてはちょっと別の機会でちゃんとした特集
No
をやろう
wolf
と思いますので、そちらまで、お待ちいただければと思いま
I've
す。
done
Again,
so
we don't
little
have time
PvP in
here today
14.
to talk about it, but we will
I think I've
be having,
done
a specific show that
2
will talk about all
frontlines
this and give details
things,
on this in the near future.
and that's it.
さて、そして、
Sorted.
前回お伝えした今度はコンテン
New
ツ
stuff.
のお話に行こうと思います。
All right,
Back
and
to
now
new
we're going to
stuff.
talk a little bit about the new content that we announced at the announcement showcase.
現在、ファイナルファンタジー14
Oh, the
オリジナルの
islands
レイドとして
farming
制作
thing.
しているのがこちらになります。
So first off,
Oh.
the new high-end 8-player raid.
Pandemonium.
高難易度レイド、バンマデン、パンデモニウム、14オリジナルのボスたちが大暴れする高難易度レイド、絶賛開発中でございます。
This is a Final Fantasy XIV original with original enemies called Pandemonium.
Labyrinthos is not an original enemy.
発表したらですね
Island Sanctuary, that's the name of it. I couldn't
ものすごい反響を
remember
世
it.
界中から、想像以上にいただきました無人島開拓。
I am Paiza.
And so the next showcase announcement, the one of the Island Sanctuary, garnered an even bigger response than we could have ever expected.
It's Animal Crossing, but or Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley. Or I've not played any of those games. Well, no, I played Harvest Moon on the Game Boy DS.
So we'll be releasing this mostly solo experience over the course of the patch 6.x series, giving adventurers an opportunity to take a break from conflict and competition and enjoy some slow living.
Slow living. Because we haven't done enough of that during a global pandemic.
まあもちろんやってるとね、多少メリットがあるようにとは思ってますけど、やってなくても十分遊べるので、ぜひですね、クラフターギャザーやってないんだよなという方もですね、全員プレイできるようになってますんで、ぜひご期待ください。
And as we mentioned before, this content is not locked to crafters and gatherers, disciples of the Lantern Hand. This is open to everyone, so you don't need to have one of those classes and those jobs to be able to play this content.
Good.
そして
Because I don't.
オールドシャーレアンだと
My highest crafter is level 52.
次に皆さんに公開されるのはこちら。
And we know a lot of you today have been thinking about living on the moon or living in Old Sharlayan, but the next housing area is Ishgard.
復興していただいた皆さんへの感謝ということで、シュガルドのハウジングエリアがオープン。
Can you just move your
So the
apartments?
firmament is finally complete, and Ishgard is opening its a new housing area to the adventurers with gratitude for their efforts.
I quite like my
こ
apartment
ちら
in
はですね、す
Kagane.
でにお伝えした通り、
But I could do a
6.0
refresh.
今月のフィナーレリリースで見学が可能になって下見をしていただいた上で購入可能になるのはパッチ 6.1 からです、ぜひそこご注意ください。
And as I mentioned previously, this area will be open for viewing only.
6.1, isn't it?
With plots available at 6.1.
Yeah.
これに合わせてですね、引っ越しとかっていうとこ
After you
ろでいく
finish
つかね、
the big
ス
story
トレ
arc.
スが溜まっているところもあると思います。これらもすべて調整していこうと思ってます。
Along with adding this new residential area, we know that there are a lot of things about moving to new plots that can cause a little bit of stress for players, and so we're thinking of making adjustments to this type of system.
もちろん転売対策っていうのも今まで、まあ今もねすごい相当やってるんですけど、これまで以上に力を入れていきます。
And while we're doing our best to stop RMT and housing cheats, we're going to be putting even more effort into curtailing these types of offenses.
もちろんね、その土地そのものを
The trouble
追
is
加す
they've
るため
made a
の
system that's
サーバー
unsustainable
自体の
based on
アッ
how
プデ
it
ートに
works
も
on the
コスト
servers,
を割い
and
ていこうと
realistically
思
they
います
just need to
And of
redo
course,
the
to make
whole
sure that
thing.
everything is stable, we are investing in servers and server infrastructure to make sure that we have the best thing to offer you guys.
そうコメントにあるんですよね。抽選しようってあるんですけどね、抽選システムはすげえ難しいんですよ。サーバーでやるのって。まあちょっともちろん考えはしますけ
I
ど
have a lot of comments about people wanting like kind of a lot system for this. That is very difficult to do over servers, but we will definitely consider it.
まあもちろんやらないとは言わない。ファイナルファンタジー14これまでも時間がかかると言っても何年かかかりでやってきたシステム数多くあります。
Again, that is, we will try the best that we can, and we're always creating new systems to make life easier for you guys, and so we'll definitely look into it.
こちらもその一つ。
Another thing that we've done, a new system that we've added to make life better for you guys, is this.
Let's go wherever we
ト
want.
ラベルになります。
The data center
Everybody
travels.
to Gilgamesh.
こちら14の、プレイヤーたちがですね、サーバーとかデータセンターの、壁を越えてですね、交流を行っていけるということの第2弾ですね、データセンターを越えて遊びに行ける機能になります。
So this is a new system, the second of our systems, along with the world visit system, that will allow players from across the globe to play regardless of which server or data center they call home.
なんかツイッチは
Which is really cool.
なんだろうね。
Really
連
cool.
発する癖があるのかね。
Looking at Twitch, we got a lot of people repeating the same messages.
凄さがそうかデータセンタ
I'm
ー
intrigued what they're saying.
凄さがわからないっていうコメントもありますね。
Don't understand why this is such a great system.
まあ簡単に言うとですね、皆さんのキャラクターデータっていうのはいくつかのサーバーでね、すごく徹底管理をされていて、それ以外にね、実際にプレイをするゾーンサーバーとかっていうのがあるんですけど、その管理をする
Just be nice to be able to play with friends in North America, for example.
ごとに用意されてるんですけど、そこでデータの受け渡しを後からやるっていうことがですね、まあ普通じゃないことなんですこれ。しかも運営を止めずにやるっていうのが。
So again, this is a very difficult thing to actually get around because we have a lot of different types of servers. We have our zone servers, which again is just, you know, the servers where players go to play in the areas. But then we also have these data servers that have all of the user information. And transferring that from server to server in real time and managing all that is actually a very difficult thing to do to make sure that data does not get corrupted or interrupted.
ただですね、ワールドカウン
They
ト
need
レベル
to
ちょっとやっぱり
release that
制約が強い
before
です。できないことが多少あります。ただ他のデータセンターのプレイヤーと交流して一緒にバトルコンテンツへ行ったりという基礎的なところはもちろん可能なので、ぜひですね、
Because they need to test that before the expansion goes live.
交流をするという仕組みで使っていただければと思ってます。
And though off-world activities will be a little bit more limited with DC travel than it is with world visits, the new system will make it possible for people to interact and take on duties with players from other data centers. And we plan to do our utmost to create new opportunities for these players and to strengthen the player communities.
こちらはですね、
Good for us. Well done.
6.0 リリースではなくて 6.0 の前に、リリースの予定になってます。当然ね、サーバーにものすごい、修正というか変更コードを入れるので 6.0 よりも前に入れてテストをしながら、進めていきます。
And as for the release of this, as we mentioned before, we plan on releasing this not at 6.0, but actually before 6.0 to make sure that everything.
Oh, have they said that previously?
To the servers that we need to do, and we need to test that.
明日のプロデュースされたライブでね、5.55
Either I wasn't paying attention or I've
スケ
forgotten.
ジュールなども含めてちょっとお伝えしようと思います。
Probably
明日のプロ
both.
デュースされたライブもぜひ、ご覧ください。
We will have more information on this, as well as the roadmap for 5.5 to 6.0 at
Benchmark when?
Live tomorrow.
さてではちょっと新情報の方に戻ろうかと思います。
New hairstyles for Viera and Hrothgar when? Challenging new dungeons. I'm really looking forward to that dungeon on the right though. The tentacle dungeon. It's inside one of the towers, I think.
So every story has its conflicts, which means we'll be implementing a number of new dungeons as well.
One every 2
今日は
levels?
そのダンジョンからいくつかのダンジョン中の様子をですねまとめてウォークスルーを用意しましたのでそちらをご覧ください。
Walkthrough video?
So today, to show you some of these dungeons, we've prepared a world premiere video for you.
Yes. So we've got a bio-organic. This is going to be one of Fandaniel's towers. Oh, it's alive. Oh, it's got teeth for doors. It's got those guys stuck in the wall. That looks cool. This is going to be the railway station. It was the dungeon on a train, because that would be cool. That'd be very different. No, it's going to be at the... Probably going to be both, actually. A bit like the dungeon where you go on the back of Bismarck. This is very Garlean, isn't it? So this is going to be in Garlemald. And yet, it's being taken over... probably by... Xenos' Void avatars? This is going to be in Sharlayan? No, this is going to be under Labyrinthos? Maybe? That's not letting on a lot. So a couple of new ones there. Is he going to go through them? Or is it, please look forward to it?
So, as with the new areas, these dungeons have wildly different atmospheres.
Oh, yes. Interesting that there were no names for any of them.
Still, aside from the expert dungeons that will be available to you at level 90, each and every one of the ones that you saw is part of the main story, which means
Trusts.
that you'll get to see.
I kind of miss there being optional dungeons on the way up.
See what your trust allies do in these places as well.
Yeah, see, I always like seeing what the trusts say about stuff. I hope it's easier to level them this time.
So actually, that reminds me, we did talk about the new high-end 8-player raid, but what about this one?
Oh, yes. This was going to be a new one, wasn't it?
So I'd like to talk a little bit about the
Unique
concept behind the new alliance
to
raid.
14. Not a crossover.
So first, let's take a look at some image art for the new alliance raid for the 6.x series.
12.
Kind of seen these symbols before.
Yeah, they're the symbols of the 12 gods. Valga
Been in the game for a long time.
at the top. Baliak, Poloni. Myths of the Realm.
And so this new alliance raid will be called Myths of the Realm.
イメージボードにもある通り、今まで直接的には触れてこなかったエオルゼア十二神とは何なのか、その存在にまつわるアライアンスレイドとなります。
And so, as the art alludes to, it will explore the 12, Eorzea's pantheon, in a way that we haven't been able to see yet in the game.
今回は Final Fantasy XIV オリジナ
That'll
ル
be
ゲームとして
interesting, because there's been speculation about that and how it's tied to the Ascians.
大きく踏み込んでいこうと
Ever since we found out about Zodiac and
This is an
Heidelberg
original
Primals.
concept belonging entirely to Final Fantasy XIV and not a crossover, so please look forward to it.
Not a
コメントで
crossover.
ね
No more
重
Yoku Tower.
心大聖堂と戦うのかって感じ
Ah, so like the
あれが関
marriage.
係してね
No, no.
It does look like the
Oh,
marriage
yeah,
ceremony
yeah.
place.
そうじゃないよ
Eternal bond.
That's the one.
僕らいくらロボ好きだからってあの神殿がこうね変形したらしい
That temple is not going to transform, and you're not going to have to fight it. We do like robots, but that probably won't happen.
さてさて、これでですねまあおおむねコンテンツのご紹介はまあぼちぼち落ち着いたかなという感じなのでここからはちょっと発売に向けてのお話をしていこうかなと思います。
All right, so that's nearly all of the in-game features that we have to show you today.
Oh.
But we would like to talk a little bit about release information.
今回ももちろん、コレクターズエディションご用意がございます。
First, we'd like to talk about the collector's edition.
こ
I
ちら
shall be
ですね
pre-ordering it.
ここからちょっとジャラネットよし
Has it got a statue in it this time?
I'm going to start with a little bit of our turn on the shopping channel, the home shopping network.
まずはこんな、特典がつい
Ooh.
ております。
These are what you can expect in the box.
ちょっと何かを出してしまいましょうか。
Let's show you what's inside.
Expertly crafted paladin figure to go with my Dark Knight one.
ハイクオリティ
Asem pin.
ナイトと。
So we have the special art box as well as the high quality paladin figure.
で、まあ、額縁がついたミニアートセット。
That can go
飾っておける
This side to match my Dark Knight one on that
Art
side.
collection, a mini art collection as well as a frame.
I like the fact that there's a Loporrits.
ピンズアゼム。
Cute.
And then we have an Azim pin.
まあ、アゼムが何を意味するかまあわかりますよね皆さん。
So you all know what that means.
まあ、これをつけてる人はバッグとかにこれをつけてる人はね。
So we know if somebody has one of these on their bag,
ねコレクターズエディション持ってるっていうのもそうだし、
we'll know that they have the collector's
そうそう
edition.
かつちゃんと、ね、
And-
自慢もできるよみたいな、
Yes,
ね、
that's right.
That they play the game.
感じですね。で、さっきご紹介したばっかりのレポリットがぬいぐるみとして
Some of these
入ってて
postcards
And there will be a mini plush of
I've already got.
まあせっかくねこれだけ広いステージがありますの
From
で
previous
ちょっと実物もご紹介していこうと思います。
And you know, because we have this huge stage here, why not bring out the actual goods and take a look at them here
Ooh.
on the stage?
I'd like
それで
to
は
see
持ってきてください。
All right, please bring out the box.
よいしょ。
Meow. The figurine looks a lot
Right, here we go.
smaller.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
さてカメラで抜いてもらっていこうかな。まずはですね特装ボックスですね。
First off, we have the box.
これ実はですね
See, this
内側に
one's
この特殊印刷
kinda big.
この外の1枚下に銀の
So,
フィルターをこ
so we have this silver filter on the outside.
うちょっとね
Silver
わかりづらいかもしれ
filter?
ないですけど
Kind of hard to see it from here, but
天野先生の
It's got some nice Amano artwork on it.
さないレベルでかなりね高度な印刷かけてるんで
so we made sure that we did not want to disturb the Amano art, so we're using a very advanced form of printing technology.
Mm-hmm.
そしてですねこちら
And of course, here's the
英雄光の戦士ナイ
Warrior
ト
of
の
a Light,
フィギュアになりますね
the Paladin figure.
パッセージオブアームズをしている
Passage of Arms.
Yeah, I don't feel that that's as big. I think the base is possibly the same
You can remove the
size.
effects.
これね全部エフェクト分解できるのでまあ素の状態がいいやっていう人はちょっと外して
I'm still gonna buy
い
it,
ろいろアレンジできるようになってます
Yes, you can arrange it any way you like. You can remove the effect or leave it there.
mostly for the Azim pin.
そしてさっきお話ししたこの、ね、ピンズですね
And here's the Azim pin.
アゼムのピンズ順番違いますけど
Ooh.
張り付いとるやんあ外れた
Thought it was stuck.
はいじゃあね可愛らしいレポリ
Oh,
これね
kawaii.
カバンにぶら
Oh,
下
it's
げられ
queuing.
るようにとかでミニサイズになってます
And here's the Loporrits. It has a little loop on it, so you can attach it to your bag.
俺の装備で怖そうで怖い
Try not to destroy the collector's
そして
edition
ですね
statue.
こちらがこれまで Q14 からずらっと
So postcards to go with all the different expansions. Oh, they're not postcards, they're actual posters. Ah,
スタンドに入れて、好きなアートワークで気分を変えながら飾れますよという内容にな
And
って
a framed
And we
piece
have
of.
the collection of mini artwork spanning the history of Final Fantasy XIV from all the way back from 1.0 all the way up until now, including artwork and screenshots. All of them can fit in this frame.
あ早かった。ごめんね。早かった。カメラが追いつけてない。そうかすいませんね。じゃあちょっとアートワークどれアートワークが
Which artwork does everybody want to see? We'll hold up some artwork again. Doesn't look like everybody got to see it before. Here we go.
That's the collector's edition box from 1.0.
The 1.0.
これあれですね。よくコレクターズ Q のねコレクターズ
I've always loved that piece of
い
artwork.
らっしゃいますね。イベントにね。
That's right. This is the artwork that was on the box, the original collector's edition. We see it a lot at fan festivals when players bring.
で
I've got it on the shelf back there.
There's no Realm Reborn.
大丈夫。
The box advertised character creation as one of the game's main
そうで
features.
すね。天野先生のイラスト
People wonder why 1.0
We
failed.
have the Amano art from all of our expansions.
Yeah.
大丈夫そうですか
I don't know whether I've seen the lease one before.
特筆なのがですね、これ覚えてる方はね、結構
That's the 1.0 War of Light.
So yes, anybody that recognizes this photo has been around Final Fantasy XIV for a long time.
That's also on the
I
box
remember that
for
guy.
1.0.
俺まだファイナルファンタジー14担当する前に PC ショップで見たもの、この看板。
I remember going to a computer game shop and seeing this guy displayed.
そしてですね、今回行月のフィナーレのアートワークね。
And now we can see how much he has aged and become battle hardened.
At least I thought it was. It's actually not.
The many years.
But it
This
does have-
is the Endwalker version.
そうこれが
That
僕
one.
結構やりたかったんです。
I thought that was on the
ちゃんと
box.
歴史を刻んできたよっていうことをですね。ちょっと構造できるだけ合わせたいというお話をして。
And this is something that I really wanted to do. I wanted to have a similar type of pose so we could show the progress and the history of the Warrior of Light through the entire span of the game.
苦労したんですよ彼も。
Yeah, he's had a hard time.
さあではちょっと待ってクリッカー。
I wonder if we get a new Warrior of Light after this
ありがとうございます。
arc is over.
Goods?
よいしょ。
That'd be interesting if the Derplander's story was
吉田の
done.
写真と今の写真を見比べられると俺が辛いんで。
Also, we're going to get to
Somebody
see.
wants to get a picture of Yoshida-san from 10 years ago and put it with a Yoshida-san from now.
We're going to get to see the Derplander as a Reaper.
ピンズもう一回ちょっと待ってちょっと持ってくる。
Everybody
ごめ
wants
ん
to
ね
see the pin again?
ごめんね。
Wasn't enough time.
ピンズだけでいいです。ピンズだけでいいです。はいはいありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Let's get a close-up of that
ちょっ
pin.
と次の新しいジョブ考えるとき、前が見やすいジョブにしよ
The next time, yeah, that's the next time we think of a new job, we want one that doesn't have
う。
such
そも
a
そもね、
hanging
正
path.
面のカメラをね、僕認識しづらいんですよね。
It's hard to see where the camera is with this hat on.
どうでしょう。
Ah, that's really nice.
Everybody see it?
力士はいいよも
Ah,
I would quite happily wear that on my suit lapel for work.
う。ピンズ。
Secretly display.
everybody get a good look at the pin.
これはファンアイテムとしてね、結構重要ですよね。はい。
That'd be cool on the typing as well, actually. Or cufflinks. Asm cufflinks.
さあでは、これ
That's a
ら
cool
は
collector's
ですね
edition. I don't think the statue is quite as cool as the Dark Knight one from
数量限定
Shadowbringers.
特別想定版というものに、付属されてます。
And so what you saw today were the contents of the limited edition collector's edition.
もちろん
Limited edition
コレクター
collector's
ズエディショ
edition.
ンですから、インゲームアイテムも付属しています。
Oh, yes.
Of
What
course,
do we
in
get?
addition to those physical items, we also have in-game items available for the
Digital
collector's edition as well.
という
Collector's
ことで
edition.
今日ご紹介したウォークスルー動画でも、少し見えてまし
The
たが
mount.
改めてちょっとまず動画をご覧いただきましょう。
And as you may have noticed in some of our walkthrough videos, you saw one of the digital in-game items. But let's take a look in the video.
Meow. It's Arion. That's a different font to what they usually use. It's got 6 legs. Yes, 6 legs. I had to double check. Got a weird face. Is it a construct? Poem and the Death Scythe cosmetic.
特典マウントアイオン
So the first item that we'll
Again, this is massively
collector's
oversaturated.
edition is the
Poem.
Arion mount.
Huh?
But I think in Japanese it's
Yeah.
Arion.
アイオン
In English it's Arion. In Japanese
Yeah.
it's Arion.
アレイ
Arion.
アレオンアレオン
Arion.
アリオン
Arion.
アリオン
Arion.
アレイオン日本語名はアレイオンだそうです
Tomato. Tomato.
なるほどね
Popoto. Popoto.
なるほどそう一緒じゃねちょっと待って
ポポト
ポポウト一緒じゃねえかすみませんすみません、
Alright.
こちらが、日本語名マウントアレイオン
Poem actually looks really weird.
Right. So the Mount Arion.
さあで、それの他にですね、あちらミニオンポロムがついてきますね
In addition to the new mount, we'll also have the wind-up Porum minion.
あれパロムはっていうねパロム
Where's Porum?
どこ行ったんだよ
Where's Porum?
ね
Why
まあ
only
まあまあ
Porum?
とりあえず
Oh,
ポロム
well, anyway,
ね
let's-
はいはいで、
Maybe it switches between them.
あちら今回ね新たなこのジョブリーパーに合わせてですね、そのスペシャルな両手釜デスサイズ
And a cosmetic item for the
というのが
Reaper.
付属されて
Just like we had the chicken knife for
Weapon for use with
chicken knife?
the new Reaper job.
Chocobo
the
knife.
Death Scythe.
for the Red Mage.
もちろんねデスサイズねファイナルファンタジー11やってる方には
And
ねちょっと思い
Squall's Gunblade for Gunbreaker.
武器かなとも思うんですけどちょっとそのままではあまりにもシンプルすぎるので少し14にアレンジして、実装となります
People who are familiar with Final Fantasy XI will remember the Death Size.
Mhm.
We tried to use a design that was close to that one, but because it was a little bit bland, we decided to glam
Add
it
the
up
stripe.
for Final Fantasy XIV.
さあでは、パッケージの種類についてお伝えしましょ
All right, now let's talk about the different kinds of packages that we have, in addition to the collector's edition.
う、すいません若干ですが
Collector's edition,
複
collector's
雑です
box.
ごめんなさい
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit confusing, so I'm going to try to explain it here.
まず一番最初重要なポイント、ご注意していただきたいのは
Collector's edition is the one with the statue. Collector's box is going to be a metal tin.
エンドウォーカーからダウンロード版しかございません
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about today, and this is the most important, is that starting with Endwalker, there will be no physical discs, digital download only.
パッケージ版がございませんので、まあちょっとゲーム屋さん、ゲームショップとかに行っても売ってないので、ご注意ください。
And so, because there is no package version, you cannot just go to a game shop and find the package version there.
まあ実際にほとんどの方がですね、
See,
やっぱり
some people
MMORPG
really
あ
like
ってまああとアーリーアクセスもありますんで、予約されてですね、ダウンロード版で購入さ
the
れる
disc
方は本当に
versions.
もう 85% 以上でした、漆黒のヴィランズ。
So again, the reason this decision was made is because a lot of things came into factor. First off, this is an MMORPG. Also, because of the early access. The other thing is that we noticed with Shadowbringers that over 85% of our players purchased the digital download version.
Yeah.
というわけでデジタル版へフル移行
Realistically,
For that reason, we've decided to do away with physical discs and go only solely
it
with
makes
digital downloads
sense.
for Endwalker.
ですの
Realistically.
でちょっとコレクターズエディションのさっきお伝えした特別想定版に関してプラットフォームプレイされてるプラットフォームごとにちょっと購入方法が違うのでそれをご説明します
So when talking about the collector's editions, then it's going to be a little bit different for players on different consoles and platforms.
Ah.
まずは Windows 版、もしくは Mac 版でプレイしてるという方、まず説明を聞いてください
So first off, we're going to talk about what players on the Windows and Mac version will need.
はい、
They'll need a Windows PC or a Mac.
版で
Is it-
先ほどの
does it still work on
特別
Mac?
想定の物理アイテムね あれらも含めてさっきのデジタルインゲームアイテムもくっついた超豪華なやつ、あれが欲しいと思ったら一番上を買ってもらえれば大丈夫です。
So if you're using the Windows or Mac version and you want all the digital items and all the physical items and the game, we ask you to buy the Endwalker Collector's Edition, the one that we just brought out and the one you see at top here.
Yes.
一番上にある。あれには、ダウンロードコードも
I want
入ってる
everything.
ので、ゲーム本体の。なので、e ストアであれをポチってしていただければ、もうそれで大丈夫です。
So, like I said, this contains the physical items, the digital items, and the Endwalker game code. So if you want this, that's what you're going to purchase on the eStore.
続いて、プレイステーション5とか、プレイステーション4とか、Steam で遊んでるよという方。
So next, we're going to talk about what players that are playing on the PlayStation 4 or 5 or on Steam will need to do.
いや、さっきの物理アイテムも全部欲しいし、インゲームアイテムももちろん欲しいよ。
So I want those physical items, and I want those digital items.
そういう方はですね、スクリーンに映ってる上から2つ目にある、スライドの上から2つ目なんですけど、行月のフィナーレ特別想定コレクターズボックスってやつをまず買ってください。
So the first thing for you guys to do, if you want those physical items, you buy that second one, the Endwalker Collector's Box.
そうです。これ何かっていうと、リアルグッズだけのボックスです。
So basically, what is in this box are the physical items that you just saw. No game, no digital items, just the physical items.
なぜなら、
Just a physical
プ
box.
レイステーション、ストアでダウンロードコードを買っていただかなきゃいけないんですよ。パッケージは、ゲームは。僕らがね、売るわけにはいかないので。
So you may be asking, why did we do this? It all comes down to how players on the PlayStation and the players on Steam purchase their games. They have to purchase the code through the store.
そうな
Yeah.
んですよ。そこにね、物理アイテムがくっつい
But
て
they
るも
might
の
still
を
want
販売
the
する
the
っていうのも
collector's
ちょっとできないの
items.
で。
We cannot sell physical items with those codes when you purchase them from the PlayStation Store or Steam.
なので白い箱にグッズ全部詰めたファンボックスだけを売り出すので、ファンボックスを買ってかつ、
And if they're not doing physical discs
Steam
anymore,
のストアで、デジタル版のコレクターズエディションを買ってもらえれば大丈夫です。
And so what you would need to do is you go to the PlayStation Store or Steam, you purchase either the digital collector's edition or the standard edition, and then if you want the physical items, go to the eStore to purchase the box, which will contain the physical items.
そして、いや待てよと、吉田いろいろね押してくるけどいいんだと、俺は部屋もあんま広くないし、さっきのはまあいいやと、とりあえず物理アイテムはいい、ただ俺はマウントアレイオンも含めたインゲームアイテムは欲しいぞという方は、書かれている
It's just going through an example.
14行月のフィナーレコレクターズエディションのゲームコードだけ買っていただければいいです。
But then, of course, there are going to be those people like, no, I don't need any of the physical goods. I don't have that big of a room. I don't have a place to put anything. I don't have the money.
just want
But
the digital
I do want
bits.
those in-game items. I do want that mount. So, what should I buy? For you, there's the digital collector's edition.
It's nice that they're
So-
giving us
シンプル
options.
でしょ、こうなってくるとね。で、いやいや待てよ待てよ、吉田吉田。まあ待ちたまえ。
And then I'll just get the PlayStation 5 code for Endwalker as the standard edition when it comes on sale.
一番下にありますファイナルファンタジー14行月のフィナーレの
PS5 betas working quite well, in my experience, by the way.
And of course, for those players that are like, no, I don't even need the digital items. I just want to play the game. For you, we have this standard edition.
edition.
Just includes the Endwalker game code.
まあみんなね、今日ねファンフェス見てくれてる人たちはね、もちろんねコレクターズエディション買ってくれると僕は思ってるんですけ
But
ど、
I know that if you're here today watching this keynote, that you're probably going to want to get that collector's edition or the box. So,
まあ、選択は自由ですからね。
When's
you know, you have the right to choose. So,
when's the pre-order going live?
まあちょっとはい宣伝はできました。まあ数量限定ですので、ぜひですね。物理版
Do they
の
normally do the
Windows
pre-orders before we get release
もう
dates?
まとめて買っちゃうぞという方、e ストア。
I suppose we need the release date
ください
first.
そして、Steam、PS4、PS5 でプレイされている方、物理アイテム欲しい
No
ぞという
Xbox
方は、さっきのね、ボックスをいち早く e ストアで予約してください。
and so as I mentioned, and as here, the collector's edition and the collector's boxes are both limited runs. There is there are only a few of them, and so if you want those, you need to purchase them and pre-order them now.
さて続いては予約特典のお話に移りましょう。
But now we have to talk about the pre-order bonuses.
さあ
Early access,
皆さん当然プレイする
which
の
again doesn't
予約
work if you don't have a release
そ
date.
して予約をしていただいた方に、予約特典をこれからご紹介したいと思います。
And so those of you who want those bonuses, because you're going to want to play the game early, we have the pre-order bonuses.
ご
Ah,
予約
that's where the
どの
Paladin
バ
minion
ージョ
is.
ンでも構いません。行月の
And the
フィナーレ
Minfina
エンドウォーカーをご予約いただいた皆さんにはこの2つのデジタルアイテムをプレゼントさせていただき
Is
ま
that
す
a。new
And so
face?
here are our pre-order in-game bonus items, which can be received with any of the versions that we just showed you. The Collector's Edition, the Digital Collector's Edition, the Standard.
I assume it's
If you
an XP
pre-order it,
earring.
This is what you get.
But up to level 80 this
ミ
time?
ニオンパロムがいらっしゃいますね。
And here we have the other half of Palom and Porom, the Palom minion.
あれさっきパロム見ましたよね。
Porom was, yeah.
コレクターズエディションを予約すれば
So if you get the digital, if you pre-order the digital collector's edition, you get
パロム
Porom
で
and
予約すればリザ
Palom.
はい
Okay.
兄弟揃いますね。汚ねえって書かれて
You're like, oh, you're gonna make us do that?
プロデューサーですからね。
That's a producer in charge of
プ
the
ロデュー
lighting.
サ
So
ーディレクターですか
producer and director. Yeah.
ら。はい。だって予約しない人いないでしょ
But we know that all of you are gonna pre-order it. Who doesn't pre-order it?
でもう一つ、アクセサリーメネフィナイヤリングは、前回漆黒のヴィランズでも、つけさせていただいたアイテムと同じでレベリングに非常に最適、自動的にパラメータ
I
ー
think I
が
prefer the look of the
変
Ether
動
Light
する
earring.
アイテムになってますのでレベリングに非常に最適なので、こちら手に入れてですね、プレイしていただけるといいかなと思います。
And the Memphina earring that you see here is similar to the earring that we gave out as a pre-order bonus for Shadowbringers. It will really help when you need to level.
さてさて、そしてですね、
30% up to level 80, I would
特典
get,
これだけ
imagine.
ではございません。
Which you can
ご予約
already
いただいた
get
プレイヤーの皆さん全員発
from
売より数日前に
Boja, I
プレイ
think.
可能となるアーリーアクセス券をつけさせていただきます。
And of course, pre-ordering is not just about items, but it's also about that early access.
Hmm.
まあもうほとんどの光の選手の皆さんにとってはここがむしろね発売日と。
Yes, for most of the Warriors of Light, it's not about the release date, it's about the early access
Release date.
ぜひですねご予約をいただいて、アーリーアクセスから行月のフィナーレの世界に飛び込んでいただい
Is it gonna be 3 days?
て、世界の、
5 days?
ゾディアーク編のラストを、見ていただければと思います。
So for all of you who are dying to learn about the new story, the new jobs, the new areas, pre-order the game, get in early access, and find out before everyone else.
さてさて、
Because
新情報
spoilers will
発
be
表会
everywhere.
そして貴重公演と2度にわたってお伝えしてきた行月のフィナーレの情報
I might not actually get to play
あとはほぼほぼね
the early
楽しみに
access
お待ちいた
properly
だく
this
だけになった
this
かな
year.
と
Okay, so I've told you all I can during the announcement showcase that we had a few months ago, as well as at this keynote. And all that's left is to look forward to what's to come in Endwalker.
お発売日はあれ社長来ないのって感じ
Alright, so, that's right, the release date. And so everybody's expecting the CEO to come out and hey, hold
おい
on.
まだかよみたいなわかりましたわかりましたもうね社長がステージに登ってきてしまう前に
But-
僕からお伝えしようかな
Okay, so before he gets on the stage, I'm just going to tell you the release date.
こちらです
And here we
What's
go.
it gonna be? Oh, that's cool artwork. Tattoo!
まずは今回も吉田明彦さんに
Ah, I like that artwork a
な
lot.
こう
Who's that in the
群像シリーズ
background?
として行月の群像を書き上げていただきました
So here you see the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, done by Akihiko Yoshida.
発売日はですね
Who's that at the top? 2021.
間に合った
2021, we did it. We made it in 2021.
間に合ったよ2021年ね間に合 った
Okay,
そして
2021, a month.
もう出していきましょう。こちらです。
November.
November?
はい。
November 23rd. That's quite late.
2021年11月23日、発売となります。
So our official release date is November 23rd, 2021.
November 23rd is
ちょっとすいません。
Tuesday.
これまでのね出してきた拡張に
So early access will start on the 19th.
タイミングからすると、まあコロナの影響もあって数ヶ月ずれたとはいえちょっと遅いかなとは
I
僕も思い
assume.
ます。
Because it'll be over the
So we
weekend.
see this date, and a lot of our players who have experienced the expansions up until now, we usually are pretty good about getting them out every 2 years. This one is out a little bit late. There are a lot of reasons, including the coronavirus. We tried as hard as we could.
ただですね、まあどちらかというとですね、あまりにも今回ボリュームがでかいがために、まあでもその分ちゃんと調整もして、最高の状態でお届けしようと思ってます。まあこれでも我々すっごいギリギリではあるんですけど、なんとかここに間に合わせるべく、全力で当たっていきたいと思います。
But this time we also have so much content that we want to bring you, so much story, so many.
Yeah, I
stories,
mean, if
so
they're
many
finishing
stories.
off the entire
And
story arc, it's
so
no
we
wonder it's
want
taking
to
slightly
have this
longer.
be perfect when we release it to you. So we're spending as much time as we can on it and working right up to the deadline in creating this new expansion.
Which will help
ちなみにちょっと個人聞きたい
with
ん
the
ですが、
digital release
You wanna
rather than
ask me
having
something?
discs.
Okay.
僕は11月って秋だと思うんだよ。
So you believe
Mm.
that November is fall.
Yes.
Yeah?
Late fall.
Late, very late. Late fall.
コージはどう思う？
I mean, technically, it's fall. Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
11月雪降んないんだよな。
I mean, it doesn't snow here yet in Tokyo in November, so I guess that's fall.
いやここね難しいんですよ。迷ってお伝えするときに仮に最初にバーンって発
To be
表
honest,
するとき
as
に
long as early access starts on a Friday, so I can play it all weekend, I'll be fine.
あるでしょ。なんかこう。
So when deciding how to first announce this back at the announcement showcase, if you put out winter, then it just makes it feel like it's so
Really
far away.
late. Yeah.
まあ11月23日はね北海道だとねあれなんですよ。ニセコとかしか降って
On
ない。
23rd of November is
So
still
even when
late,
you
but
think of the November 23rd, I mean even then, even in like the northern parts of Japan, it's still there's not many places that are snowing, so that means it's fall, right?
でもあれかいアメリカとかだとやっ
who
ぱ
are
り
you trying to convince, Yoshi? We're going to buy it anyway.
冬ですか？
I mean it depends. Some places.
I would have
Europe
liked
may
it in
consider November more part
the,
of
the end of
than
October
other
for
places do,
half
but,
term.
じゃあ
Realistically.
次から発表す
But
るときは
You know,
フォール
it is what it is.
So next time, rather than saying fall 2000 whatever, we'll say around fall winter-ish.
すごい曖昧。
Make it even more vague. Yes, that will solve all our problems.
ごめんなさい。頑張るのでぜひご容赦ください。僕からしてもねもう1ヶ月ぐらい早く出したいなとは思ってたんですけど、開発チーム本当にギリギリのギリギリまでクオリティ詰めて最高の物語お届けしますので、ぜひ11月23日の発売を楽しみにお待ちいただければと思います。明日の PLL でも言いますけど、そこま
Can
で
I
ね
go
イベントぎっ
and
しりで
pre-order
お
the
届け
collector's
しますの
edition
で
now?
よろしくお願いします。
So again, once again, I apologize. Really wanted to get this out as early as possible. Hopefully, hoping to get it out maybe in October. But again, the development team is working so hard on creating such a great experience for you guys. We wanted to give them as much time as we could to create something that was really great.
I'm fine with
That's why
that.
we decided on the November 23rd date. We have more information about that tomorrow in the letter from the producer live. So please look forward to it.
Hopefully, it means that we'll get some
All right.
bits and pieces from 5.58
No.
or something.
No. You didn't finish. There's one more thing.
まだある？
One more thing. One more thing.
あ、耳？あ、耳か。あ、確かにな。
You can't forget that.
社長が来る前にやらなきゃいけないことがあるんだった。
So yeah, one more thing before the CEO arrives.
じゃあもう一個ちょっと動画があるのでご覧いただ
We
け
have
れ
a
ば。
video, so please check it out.
New cosmetics for Viera and Hrothgar. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That looks kind of male Viera-esque, doesn't it? They're doing it. There are going to be a lot of very happy people right now. Buddy boys! April Fool's joke, no. Dancing. Does that mean that we're going to get Fem Hrothgar announced at the next thing?
はい。
Yeah, just a small announcement, that one. The internet's going to be going nuts right now.
女性とね、ロスがある男性を実装することで、ファイナルファンタジー14としてはね、新種族の追加は
There was a big outrage when they gender locked them, though.
いました。
So, as I stated many times, that after the release of Shadowbringers and the release of the female Viera and the male Hrothgar, that we were not going to be releasing any more playable races.
Like the hair on that middle one.
しかしですね、やっぱり世界中から熱望の声をいただいたことと、何よりグラフィックスチームがプレイヤーの皆さんがここまでなのであれば、なんとかしていきましょうというふうに総力を上げて達成して。
So this is probably why we've not had any updates.
ビエラがプレイヤー種族として実
For the
装でき
hair
ることに
and
なり
stuff.
ました。
However, because all of you asked so earnestly from around the world, and
There was a
more
lot of swearing and anger.
because the graphics team worked extremely hard to make it happen, we've done it again and released the male playable Viera.
もちろんですね、ロスガルの女性についても、検討はしてるんですが、すいません、今回はこれが精一杯でした。ただですね、ロスガルについてもここまで来れば、必ずやっていこうという決意でいますので、ちょっと時期はずれるとは思いますが、ぜひそちらについてもですね、そこだけ対応しないみたいなことがないように。
If I was more awake, I'd be more.
Of course, we did consider adding the female Hrothgar as well, but again, we had our hands full with doing the male Viera as well as the game. However, that said, we do plan to find an opportunity to add them in the future. We will be bringing the female Hrothgar. It will not come at the same time as the male Viera at 6.0, but it is.
Nice. So they've said they're doing it. Mind you, they've also said they're doing eggy glamours, so.
はい、ちょっとね、それに合わせるまでもう一拡張を待つ
Does that mean we can get hairstyles and
かも
hats?
しれないんですけど、それはそれでまたちょっとね、違うのかなというので、もう順次でもいいから行こうという決断をさせていただきました。
That's a really big
There was
announcement.
The option for us to wait until both were finished before releasing both of them at the same time, but we decided instead to release them one at a time as they were finished.
So much more hype for male Viera.
その
Ridiculous
ビエラ男性のね
amounts.
細かい設定などはまた別の機会でお伝えしていこうと思いますので、ご承知おきください。
As for the lore and the story and other details about the male Viera, we will be revealing those later.
So we've written some. We've made some up.
よく見てなかったって方もいらっしゃると思うので、もう一回、ビエラ男性の動画を流そうと思います。
All right, and so we realize all of that was quite sudden, so let's give you another opportunity to get a first look at the new playable male Viera.
It kind of was. That's the Ishgard in room, isn't it? They look really young as well. I wonder what kind of options they're going to have in terms of that. I also wonder if this means that we'll get there... Because, I mean, that hairstyle would look just as good on a female Viera, surely. But this would certainly explain why they haven't given us new hairstyles and stuff over the course of the entirety of Shadowbringers, as they kind of promised. I still feel really sorry for Hrothgar though. They shouldn't have tied Hrothgar hair into their actual faces. Yes, people are going to be very happy indeed. The number of people that refused to play Viera because to switch off their male Makote because there were no male Viera was quite large.
And we actually have one more important announcement before we bring a close to the keynote.
Final Fantasy XIV は200以上の国や地域の皆さんに愛され、そして多くの声援をいただいて、ここまで大きく本当に成長させていただくことができました。
So Final Fantasy XIV has come this far because of the love and support of players from across the globe. Currently, we have players in over 200 countries, from over 200 countries playing Final Fantasy XIV.
New milestone? 25 million players?
一部の地域では、これまで用意してきたデータセンターの、効力が薄くてですね、厳しいレイテンシーの環境下で遊んでいただいている場所もあります。
However, some regions are not well served by our current data center.
New data centers being made.
Players there suffer from poor latency.
Oceania, I seem to recall, has horrible issues, doesn't it?
6.0 以降
Or have they fixed that
も
already?
引き続き成長していく、拡大していく、より大きなもちろん投資をしていくということの、表れとしてもですね、ここで、皆さんに新たなデータセンターの開設をお伝えさせていただきたいと思います。
But we want Final Fantasy XIV to continue to grow even after 6.0, and we're committed to that growth, and we're committed to investing in that growth.
Oceania.
We would like to tell you about our new data center.
Just the one.
これまで
So it's going to be
何
in
年にもわたって
Australia.
オセアニア地域にお住まいの光の戦士たちからですね、なんとかオセアニアに DC を作ってくれないかというリクエストをですね、プレイヤーの皆さんからもメディアの皆さんからも非常に強くリクエストを受けてきました。
So we've had Warriors of Light from the Oceania region for many, many years, asking for a data center of their own, from players to the media.
現在ですね、数万人
Yeah,
以上
they really struggled.
14をアクティブにプレイしていただいている方いらっしゃるんですが、実際にはその彼らがお住まいの地域というのがですね、同じにもかかわらず、この今存在する3つのデータセンターどこにつないでもレイテンシーがあまり良くなく、しかも差がないっていう状態になってます。
Currently, we have thousands and thousands of Warriors of Light in the Oceania area that have stuck with this all this time, despite being split up between the NA and JP data servers, despite there being poor latency for them, as well as not really a difference between the servers.
結果的にですね、ヨーロッパ DC で遊ぶオセアニアのプレイヤー、それから日本のデータセンターで遊ぶオセアニアのプレイヤー、そして NA のデータセンターで遊ぶオセアニアのプレイヤーという形でみんなねバラバラになってしまってます。
And so we have a community of Oceania users that have been split up, some of them using data centers in this data center in Europe, some of them using the data center in North America, and some even in Japan.
僕らとしてはやっぱり世界中一人でも多くの方にプレイしていただきたいですし、世界中のねこうやって応援してくださるプレイヤーの皆さんにやっぱり快適なレイテンシーをお届けしたい。そしてより一層一番大事なのはその地域のコミュニティが一つになれることだと思います。ですので今回新たな DC をお届けしたいと思います。
So in order to provide service with less latency,
It's 4 a.m.
of community for those dedicated players, so they don't have to be split up and they can have their own community, we're adding a new data center for them.
それがこちらになります。
Well done.
オセアニア DC を、今回設立いたします。
And we are creating a new data center in Oceania.
Good for you guys.
物理なので数億円以上
And I really hope that helps the Australians and New Zealand players out.
に基づいて、これらの準備を進めてまいりました。
And it'll be a big
For us, this is
Big
a
new
massive
audience as well.
undertaking and a multi-million-dollar investment, but we believe that is necessary.
ただですね、申し訳ありません。どうしてもここに来て、コロナ禍によって僕らのエンジニアスタッフが、オセアニア地域ちょっと行くことができないという状態が発生しています。
This plan has actually been in the works for a while. Unfortunately, the coronavirus pandemic has restricted travel and made
Yeah.
it so that our server engineers can't actually go to physically see the servers.
ただですね、
Which is kind of problematic.
6.0 より前にこのオセアニア DC をオープンして、プレイヤーの皆さんに無料のワールド移転を
So will this be coming
移動
before
していただいて
6.0?
6.0 を迎えていただくというのが、すいません、
Assuming
当初の
travel
スケジュ
opens
ール
up.
でした。
So our original schedule was that we would have this data center ready before 6.0, allowing players
But it's not going to be anymore.
Use the free world transfer to get to a new data center before 6.0 is released.
ただですね、今なんとかすべてリモートワークで現地の、その現地にいらっしゃる、オセアニアのスタッフの方にですね、リモートで指示をしながら、日本にいながらデータセンターを物理で構築するっていうことを今やってます。
However, because again of the coronavirus pandemic, our schedule has been pushed back. Our engineers haven't been able to actually go and see those servers. However, what we've been doing is we've been doing this remotely. We have hooked up with meetings with the people actually there at the server centers, and we have been physically constructing this via digital.
そのためですね、
Wow,
2ヶ月から
that must have been
3ヶ月として
super
というより
awkward.
ズレができていて、6.0 はちょっと間に合いそうもないんですが、6.1 までにはこのデータセンターお届けできる予定です。
And so this has unfortunately added about 2 to 3 months to our original schedule. But hopefully, we hoping to have the data center open by 6.1.
ですので、ぜひ、
That's unfortunate, but
オセアニアにお住まいの皆さんはですね、環境のいいデータセンターへ
what can you
移住
do?
というタイミング
Really,
を
the
もう確定
pandemic
している
screwed
と
everything
いう
up
こ
for
と
a
でです
lot
ね
of people.
それを楽しみに待ちながら行月のフィナーレプレイしていただきたいですし、レテシーで、ね、
Loping,
プレイを中断している方も
well,
ですね、
hyping
ぜ
is
ひ、
sucks,
再開を
but
ご検討いただけると大変嬉しく思います。
saving
Right,
lives.
and while you might have to wait a little bit, we hope that all of our players in the Oceania region will enjoy Endwalker, and then when we have the data center ready, be able to make that move.
さあ、そしてちょっとね、持ってきたんですけど、これね、オセアニアデ
Oh,
ー
they've
タ
got
セ
a
ンターの物理的に今構築しているサーバールームの
Alt
写真
F4.
Here we have a picture of the actual server room in the Oceania Data Center.
Yay.
これ見ても
It
わかんない
really
と思うんです
exists.
よ
Look at this,
ね
like, wait, what is this?
でもね、これね、サーバーエンジニアが見ると、あのブレードの形はゾ
It's
ン
not
サー
got
バ
the
ーだな
cables.
とかいうのがね、わかるらしいです。
So basically, but server engineers, if anyone out there is a server engineer, they're going to be able to look at this like, oh, okay, those are the zone servers right there, I think.
まあこれ以上はね、ちょっとセキュリティの問題もあるので、ちょっとお見せできないんですけど、今まさに、絶賛構築中ですので、ぜひ楽しみにお待ちください。
However, for security reasons, we can't show you any more than this, but we just like to show you that we are currently in the process of building this, and it should be ready very soon.
It does exist. It's real, I tell you.
さて、
I really like that artwork, but who is that at the top?
ラストへ突っ走るというふうに今日お伝え
New
して
character.
きました。14は
Or
まだま
am I
だ
just being
発展と
stupid?
飛躍をしていきます。それを今日また改めてお約束させていただきます。
All right, so even as we race toward the conclusion
I think
of
that's a new
Hydaelyn and
character.
Zodiac Tale, remember what you've seen here today, and
Is it
know
Hydaelyn?
that there is much more yet to come for Final Fantasy XIV.
その物語の大きなくくり、第一章完結、それを、
Also, why is
迎える
Tattoo?
同日のフィナーレのリリース日は改めまして2021
Here.
年11月23日になります。
Let me onto the pre-order
And
site.
that conclusion of the Zodiac Tale will be revealed and the release of Endwalker on November 23rd, 2021.
そしてご予約をいただいた
Can
方
I
に
go to bed now?
特典として付与される
No,
アーリー
Demajen.
アクセス
You must
そして
edit this video
アーリー
together.
アクセス開始の日付は
November 19th. That's the
2021
Friday.
年
That's good.
11月
Means I can come home from work
となりま
and
す。
play all
So if you
weekend.
pre-order, you will get to learn all of the answers 4 days earlier on November 19th.
はい。
I'm not going to know all the answers, am I? Because I can't play for however many hours straight it'll be. Please look forward to it.
So please look forward to these 2 dates.
That's poor punctuation. 1 exclamation mark only. And now for the CEO.
Right. It's been a long 2 hours. We just did it. Just 2 hours. That's good timing.
2 hours, 14 minutes. 15 minutes.
But again, this is just the opening of a 2-day FanFest filled with great events.
For which he's going to go get changed into something more
We have a
comfortable.
lot of fun, exciting stuff in store for you over the next 2 days.
Which I will watch later. Keep in mind that I got up for work at 6 a.m. this morning, went to work,
But before we can
taught all
really begin,
day.
let's call to the stage the most important person here, Square Enix President and CEO, Yosuke Matsuda.
Is he just going to... Is he cosplaying this time? Because he does that sometimes. He's not here. He's coming in on a chocobo. Oh, there he is. Different translator? It's a nice suit, sir. Nice pocket square. Nice pocket
So
square.
let's have a message for all of our fans watching today from the CEO.
はい、皆さん、こんにちは。スクエア・エニックスの松田です。
Hello everyone, this is Yosuke Matsuda from Square Enix.
今日は、ファイナルファンタジー14デジタルファンフェスティバル2021をご覧いただきありがとうございます。
He's being quite serious in this one.
Digital FanFest 2021 today.
Mind you, he often is at the start of these, isn't he? It's but when he's actually announced in advance.
当初皆さんもあって、ファンの皆様と交流するということを計画していたようですけれども、今回残念ながらコロナということで、こういったデジタルの開催ということにさせていただきました。
So since the last FanFest, I believe, was in 2019, we've been trying to plan something to see all of you. But with this pandemic situation, with the pandemic, we have decided to go
Ooh,
digital.
pandemic.
こういう形でですね、直接皆様とですね、お会いできればよかったんですけれども、一方でまたこういったデジタルの新しい形でのですね、ファンフェスティバルということで、今回いろいろ素晴らしい企画をですね、皆様方のために用意させていただいております。
So while it would have been great to see you all here with us today, this new way of holding an event, this digital FanFest, is also an amazing way to hold this event.
ファイナルファンタジー14、10年以上にわたる長きにわたって皆様方に
It's a big hall to be stood in front of if it's empty.
We have managed to continue Final Fantasy XIV for over 10 years now, all thanks to your support.
改めまして社を代表いたしまして世界中のプレイヤーの皆様にお礼を申し上げたいと思い
From
ます。
this piece of crap onwards.
Once again, I'd like to show my gratitude. I would like to say thank you to all of you for all this support.
Character creation. Character creation
新しい形でのこの
was one of the big 3 features on the back of the box.
最後までごゆっくりお楽しみください。ありがとうございました。
So please enjoy today this new form of FanFest, this digital FanFest 2021. Thank you very much.
Very sensible. They got some
はい、社長ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
それではこのまま、ファンフェスティバルの
They got some canned applause for
へ
him.
入っていこうと思います。
So now we'd like to continue on to the opening ceremony.
では開発チーム運営チームからも、ゲストが来ておりますので皆さんぜひ、登場してください。
So let's call in our special guests from the development team.
What, they're going straight into it? I know some of these people. Oh, are they bringing... There's a lot of people they're bringing in. Oh, I want that sweater. Actually, I think you can order that sweater on the SE store.
はい。
はい、それではここからはですね、開発チームのメンバーに一言ずつご挨拶いただきたいと思います。So,
Alpha!
let's have a greeting message from the each development team members. So, starting
Right,
with
I think I'm going to end this recording here because it is almost 4:15
Hello,
in the
everybody.
morning and I'm exhausted. So I'm going to go and edit this together. That's I'm sure there will be fun and exciting things in this developer stuff. But I'm not going to be able to enjoy it at 4:15 in the morning. God knows how I will have edited this all together, or whether I'll have just stuck it all up as one thing. I haven't got a clue, and I'm not going to do it right now anyway, because I need to go and sleep. Hopefully you've enjoyed my reactions to stuff, and if you are awake and enjoying the FanFest, kind of sad that they haven't announced pre-orders for the collector's edition, but yeah, maybe they'll do that at the end of FanFest. That's something that they may well do. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Have a good day. I go sleep now. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.